प्रिया जी।
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
हाँ, गुड आफ्टरनून। आप ये एलएलबी कब आपने किया है?
Yes, sir.
एलएलबी पास आउट किस ईयर किए हैं?
Sir, 2022.
2022।
22.
ओके। अभी क्या कर रही हैं?
Sir, I'm preparing for judiciary and also pursuing LLM from Allahabad University.
ओके। ये आपका पहला इंटरव्यू है?
Yes, sir. First attempt and first interview.
गुड। पहली बार में ही इंटरव्यू दे रही हैं और आपके में अ, अच्छी जो है परफॉर्मेंस आपकी है। आप ये बताएं कि आप जज बन के तीन क्या अच्छा काम करेंगे जो एग्जिस्टिंग सिस्टम जिससे और एक्टिव हो जाए।
Sir, I'll try my best and to the best of my knowledge to do whatever work is prescribed to me. I'll try to uphold the justice and I'll try that I'll try to solve the cases as soon as possible, as quickly they can be. Try to provide the free trial, speedy trial. Yes, sir.
ये सब चीजें तो पहले से भी हुआ है। स्पीडी ट्रायल का तो ऑनरेबल सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने तो उसको फंडामेंटल राइट का दर्जा भी दे रखा है। ऐसा है
Indeed, sir.
क्या?
Sorry,
ओके,
sir.
तो फिर ये कोई नई चीज तो होगी नहीं। स्पीडी ट्रायल तो जो फंडामेंटल राइट का पार्ट हो गया है और ये तो कोर्ट की ड्यूटी में है ही है। आप अपने
Hello, sir. So voice is not coming.
मुझे लग रहा है डिस्टर्ब होगा। ओझा जी, अब कुछ जम नहीं रहा।
आप कहाँ से बोल रहे
हेलो।
हो? आप कहाँ
मैं
से बोल
यार
रहे हो?
मेरठ में हूँ, गेस्ट हाउस में हूँ।
ओके।
और हाँ, तो फिर अब इस डिस्टर्ब हो गया, बच्चे भी डिस्टर्ब होंगे और पूरा ही। आप सुन पा रहे थे मेरी आवाज?
हाँ हाँ, आवाज आ रही है आप। हाँ, अब बोलो, आवाज आ रही है।
आ रही है। प्रिया, आपको
Yes, sir.
आवाज मेरी सुनाई दे रही है?
हाँ हाँ।
Yes, sir. Now it is coming.
अच्छा प्रिया, मेरा क्वेश्चन जो स्टार्टिंग में था कि आप जज बन गई हैं, तो जज के रूप में तीन ऐसे क्या काम करेंगी जिससे जुडिशियल सिस्टम को स्ट्रेंथ मिले उसे?
बताए प्रिया,
Sir, yes, sir.
आप ऐसा कौन सा काम करेंगी जिसमें जुडिशियल सिस्टम को तीन तरह से इंप्रूवमेंट हो सके? इट इज क्वेश्चन।
तो तीन तरह से प्रोग्रेस हो।
हाँ, आप उनका सवाल ये है कि ऐसा आप कौन सा काम करेंगी कि जुडिशियल सिस्टम में तीन इंप्रूवमेंट हो जाए?
Sir, I'll think about it. Sorry.
ओके, अच्छा ठीक है। आप जज बनना चाहती हैं। आपको क्या लगता है जो जुडिशियल सिस्टम है और जो जजमेंट डिलीवरी सिस्टम है, उसमें पूरे सिस्टम को और अच्छा बनाया जा सके, इसके लिए आप तीन काम बता दीजिए। तीन प्रायोरिटी आपकी क्या होगी? कलेक्ट नहीं कर पा रही हैं।
सोचिए
चलो,
प्रिया जी सोचिए क्या ऐसा है प्रिया जी, आपका जो जुडिशल सिस्टम है, आप जज बनना चाहती हैं। हम उनको प्रकाश जी के सवाल को ठीक करें, उनकी आवाज उतनी साफ नहीं आ रही है कि जुडिशल सिस्टम है उसको इम्प्रूव करना है। आप जज बनना चाहती है, इसके लिए आप आएंगे तो इम्प्रूव करेंगी। आपकी प्रियोरिटी में तीन चीजें क्या है जो आप इम्प्रूव करना चाहती हैं?
Sir, less adjournments and less pending cases, and also I'll try to solve the cases to the best of my knowledge in the
एक
interest of
केस सॉल्व करने, प्रिया ठीक है, आपका आंसर आ गया है। आप ये बताइए, एक केस सॉल्व करने के लिए कोई टाइम लिमिट है?
No, sir, there is no time limit.
कोई टाइम लिमिट नहीं है। कोई
No, sir.
रीजनेबल टाइम लिमिट है? कोई रीजनेबल टाइम लिमिट है?
Sir, as far as I know, there is no time limit provided.
क्या जज की ड्यूटी में ये चीज शामिल नहीं है कि वो किसी भी केस को एक विद इन रीजनेबल टाइम सॉल्व करे?
Yes, sir. It is, but it is not provided in any provision.
तो आप फिर ये कैसे कह सकते हैं कि कोई टाइम लिमिट नहीं है
So I
और
think
रीजनेबल टाइम
there
लिमिट
is
भी
no
नहीं है?
time. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Indeed, there is no time limit, and I think this is the only problem. That is why number of pending cases are increasing. So that is why I said I will try my best, to the best of my knowledge, to solve the cases as soon as possible, so that the number of pending cases will decrease.
अच्छा ठीक है, चलिए पेंडेंसी बहुत ज्यादा हो गई है, तो इस पेंडेंसी को कम करने का पहले ये व्हाट आर द काजेज, ये जो केस से इतने ज्यादा पेंडेंसी इंक्रीज कर रही है, क्या आप उसको जो डिमार्केट करिए पॉइंट वाइज।
So the reasons for pending cases?
पेंडेंसी कम कैसे की
वन
जाए?
बाई वन, वन बाई वन नहीं, दो सवाल है। पहला सवाल ये है कि पेंडेंसी बढ़ने के क्या रीजंस हैं, उसको आप पॉइंट वाइज बताइए।
Yes.
अब बहुत डेप्थ में हम एक्सप्लेन ना करिए, पॉइंट वाइज बताइए, व्हाट आर द रीजंस।
So first is police investigation are taking so much time, and second is when it comes to the witnesses, when someone is sent to witnesses or warrant is sent for arrest, then it also takes time to implement them. And I think, sir.
क्या ये और है आपके पास रीजन?
Sir, right now I'm
आपने
not able to think.
अच्छा, तो क्या ये रीजन नहीं है कि जो भी एडवोकेट्स होते हैं उनका इंटरेस्ट इस क्लाइंट के इंटरेस्ट में होता है, और क्लाइंट का इंटरेस्ट ये है कि मान लो क्रिमिनल केसेज है और क्लाइंट एक्यूज है, तो वो चाहेगा कि ये तो इंडेफिनिट टाइम के लिए जो है चलता रहे, तो किसी न किसी रीजन से वो एडजर्न करने रहते हैं। ये बड़ा रीजन नहीं है?
Yes, sir. Adjournment is also a reason, right?
एडजर्नमेंट को कम करने के लिए क्या स्टेटरी प्रोविजंस हैं?
Sir, Section 309 of Criminal Procedure Code provides that unnecessary adjournment should not be provided until it is out of control, or the circumstances are such that there is need of adjournment. And also in CPC, it also provides that adjournment cannot be given for more than 3 times. but it is not in practice. So I think due to more adjournments, the pending cases are increasing. And I think so the solution for this is we can increase the adjournment fees also.
फी यदि इंक्रीज कर दें तो जो रिच क्लाइंट हैं वो तो फिर वो तो अपने मकसद में कामयाब हो सकते हैं ना कि भाई फीस एडजस्टमेंट की जो है क्या करना है कास्ट ही तो लगेगा पैसा जमा करते रहो अनंत काल तक बढ़ाते रहो तो इस आपके सजेशन से क्या कंपनी एडजस्टमेंट पर रोक लग सकती है
No, sir. If the client is rich, that they may abuse their power. But I think in that case, the Supreme Court, the court should must assure that the adjournment should be provided when there are such circumstances that the case it is not possible to carry forward.
अच्छा प्रिया ये बताइए कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट पार्लियामेंट को और स्टेट लेजिस्लेटिव को डायरेक्शन देती है कि आप 3 साल तक के लिए जो पनिशेबल ऑफेंसेज हैं और जिनकी पेंडेंसी 5 साल से बनी हुई है उन सबको हटा लेने का एक एक्ट बनाया जाए तो दो बातें आपको बतानी है कि क्या ऑनरेबल सुप्रीम कोर्ट इस तरह का डायरेक्शन दे सकती है दूसरा यदि देती है तो क्या लेजिस्लेचर्स उसको मानने के लिए बाउंड हैं
Sir, can you please repeat the time that is 3 years or 5 years? You said
3 साल का मैक्सिमम पनिशमेंट है सपोज कि 379 और 411 आईपीसी में केस दोनों में 3 साल की सजा है चार्जशीट फाइल हो गई है ओके और विदाउट टेकिंग कॉग्निजेंस 5 साल बीत गए हैं और इस तरह के बहुत सारे केसेज हैं हजारों केसेज हैं तो 3 साल तक का पनिशमेंट है लेकिन 5 साल केस को अभी ऐसे ही निकल गया टाइम इज इट क्लियर
yes, sir.
अब अपना आंसर आप बताइए
Sir, Supreme Court in this case can release the accused.
No. My question is whether Supreme Court can direct to the Parliament as well as state legislative.
प्रिया क्वेश्चन कॉम्पिटेंस ऑफ सुप्रीम कोर्ट पे है इफ यू अंडरस्टैंड हिज क्वेश्चन ही इज आस्किंग अबाउट द कॉम्पिटेंस ऑफ द सुप्रीम कोर्ट दैट कैन सुप्रीम कोर्ट give a direction to the state legislature or parliament to make a law as Supreme Court desires to be. It is the question. Hope you got it.
Sorry, sir, I'm not understanding question.
I'm again explaining because उनका थोड़ा सा नेट काम नहीं कर रहा. I'm explaining it. There is a crime. जसवाल जी आपका नेट काम में थोड़ा सा मैं कर देता हूँ आपकी बात मैं कह देता हूँ there is a crime for under 379 and 411 it has been happened in this crime the punishment is for 3 years charge sheet has been filed and 5 years have been passed no judgment yet came Supreme Court is issuing the direction to the state government state legislature and the parliament to frame a law to do a justice. Can Supreme Court give the direction to state legislature or parliament in this regard?
Yes, sir. I think Supreme Court can give direction to legislate in this case.
Yes, Jaswal ji.
ऐसा कोई ये आपके आंसर को जस्टिफाई करने का कोई प्रीवियस में इंस्टांस है
Sorry, sir.
कोई
Yes, sir.
कोई ऐसा एग्जाम्पल आप बता पाएंगे? प्रिया, आपका मैं
Yes,
थोड़ा अटेंशन ले जाता हूं कि कैपिटल पनिशमेंट के केसेस में ऐसा
yes,
हुआ कि पनिशमेंट सेंटेंस अवार्ड होने के बाद कैपिटल पनिशमेंट एग्जीक्यूट नहीं किया गया और इस बीच में 3 साल निकल गए। तो इसको लेके सुप्रीम कोर्ट और हाई कोर्ट में लोग मूव किए। तो बीच में एक थ्योरी आई कि यदि अननेसेसरी डिले है तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट कैन कन्वर्ट द सेंटेंस, कैपिटल पनिशमेंट को लाइफ इम्प्रिजनमेंट में चेंज कर सकती है।
yes, sir.
पढ़ाया पढ़ाया या सुना है?
Yes, sir. Under Section 433A of Criminal Procedure Code, it is provided that if there is death punishment provided, uh, sir, under Section 433, it is provided to commute the sentence. That punishment can be commuted to life imprisonment.
न वो भी कब नहीं, उसको कब कौन कर सकता है? आपके उस सेक्शन में ये पावर किसको दिया गया है? सुप्रीम कोर्ट
Sir,
को दिया गया है या एप्रोप्रिएट गवर्नमेंट को दिया गया है?
को दिया है, appropriate
तो
government.
एप्रोप्रिएट, तो आप तो बता रहे हैं बात सुप्रीम कोर्ट की हो रही थी, तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने ये जो पावर एक्सरसाइज किया, ये उस सीआरपीसी के उस सेक्शन से डिराइव किया या कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन किसी से आर्टिकल से?
So Constitution under Article 142 of the Constitution, for complete justice, I think Supreme Court can do this.
132 और 142?
142.
अब जहां तक मैं सोच पा रहा हूं कि ये 3 केसेस का बंच है जिसमें कैपिटल पनिशमेंट को लाइफ इम्प्रिजनमेंट में चेंज किया जा सकता है। फर्स्ट बात टीबी बातीश्वरन केस, सेकेंड शेर सिंह मस्त्री स्टेट ऑफ पंजाब, तीसरा त्रिवेणी बैंक का। और उसमें सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने ये प्रोपाउंड किया था कि कोई टाइम लिमिट नहीं बांधा जा सकता है कि कितना टाइम निकल गया है जिसके आधार पे कैपिटल पनिशमेंट को लाइफ इम्प्रिजनमेंट में चेंज किया जा सकता है। तो आप तो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में आपका क्या है, इंटरेस्ट है कुछ?
Yes, sir.
मतलब इंटरेस्ट है और उसमें आप कंफर्ट फील करती हैं?
Yes, sir.
ये कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन जो इंडिया कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन है उसका पूरा नाम क्या है?
So Constitution
टाइटल
of
क्या है? कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऑफ इंडिया। कहाँ है ये कहीं लिखा हुआ है?
Sir, Article 393.
ओके, राइट यू आर। आपसे क्या हम लोग डिस्कस करें? आप अपने कुछ पसंद की फील्ड बता पाएंगे?
Sir, Constitution of India, Indian Penal Code, and Criminal Procedure Code.
क्रिमिनल प्रोसीजर कोड, ओके। विड्रॉल फ्रॉम प्रोसिक्यूशन का
Yes, sir.
प्रोविजन सीआरपीसी में है?
Yes, sir.
कहाँ पे है?
Sir, under Section 321.
यस, कौन कर सकता है विड्रॉल?
Sir, on the application of the prosecutor, it can be done.
पब्लिक प्रोसिक्यूटर के एप्लीकेशन पे कोर्ट की क्या रोल है उसमें? कोर्ट की रोल क्या है, उसके पावर क्या है 321 सीआरपीसी में? क्या 321 में इस तरह का प्रोविजन है कि पब्लिक इंटरेस्ट होने पे ही विड्रा किया जा सकता है? ऐसा है कुछ प्रोविजन उसमें?
Yes, sir.
है या जुडिशियल डेवलपमेंट से है?
Sorry, sir, I'm unable to recall.
ओके। समरी ट्रायल में
Yes, sir.
ट्रायल को समरी क्यों कहा जाता है? समरी ट्रायल में ट्रायल को समरी क्यों कहा जाता है?
Sir, because they are for the offenses which are punishable with less punishment.
कहीं कहीं ऐसा तो नहीं आप ये कहना चाहते हैं कि समरी ट्रायल में ट्रायल समरी होता है, समरी फॉर्म में होता है, इसलिए उसको समरी ट्रायल कहते हैं?
Yes, sir.
ओके। कितना मैक्सिमम पनिशमेंट समरी ट्रायल में दिया जा सकता है?
So 3 months.
गुड। आईपीसी भी आपका लाइकिंग का है सब्जेक्ट? आईपीसी में कुल कितने सेक्शन हैं?
So 511 sections.
एक्स्ट्रा टेरिटोरियल ज्यूरिसडिक्शन आईपीसी में कहाँ पे है?
Sir, extra territorial jurisdiction is provided under section 3 and 4 of Indian Penal Code.
और सीआरपीसी में?
Sir, in CRPC under section 166A and 166, it is provided.
या 188 में है?
Yes, sir, in 188 also. Yes, sir.
ओके। और अभी इंटरव्यू चल रहा है आज, आपका कुछ कन्वर्सेशन किसी इंटरव्यू देने वाले बच्चे से हुआ है?
Sorry, sir.
आज
जो
इंटरव्यू
बच्चे
चल रहा
में
है, आज इंटरव्यू चल रहा है, आपका कन्वर्सेशन किसी इंटरव्यू में बच्चे से हुआ है?
No, sir.
नहीं हुआ? आपकी कुछ जिज्ञासा नहीं थी कि पूछा जाए क्या चल रहा है?
Sir, I am curious and I also know girl, but when I'll go back from here, then I'll contact her.
वेरी, ये तो बड़ी अच्छी बात है। आईपीसी में किडनैपिंग और एब्डक्शन अलग अलग क्यों रखा गया है? प्रोविजन दोनों के अलग अलग क्यों हैं?
So because these two are different offenses, kidnapping is provided under section 359 and abduction is provided under 362. Kidnapping is for the children mostly. In case of boys, it is for those who are less than 16 years of age, and for girls who are less than 18 years of age. So when these boys and girls are taken away without the consent of their guardians, then it is called kidnapping.
ओके। प्रोविजन आपसे सिंपल सा क्वेश्चन यही था कि क्यों किडनैपिंग और एब्डक्शन को अलग किया जाए, तो आपने बता तो दिया आंसर कि वो किड से रिलेटेड है और एब्डक्शन सभी से हो सकता है। ओके। आप ये बताइए कि आजकल बहुत ही लाइट में है और डिस्कशन का एक टॉपिक है कि हस्बैंड भी रेप के लिए कन्विक्ट किया जा सकता है, कि एग्जिस्टिंग जो लॉ है, क्या ऐसा पॉसिबल है कि हस्बैंड को भी रेप के लिए लायबल ठहराया जाए?
Sir, husband can be made liable for rape if the wife is of less than 18 years of age. But if it is not less than 18 years of age, then the husband cannot be made liable.
एक बार फिर से आप रिपीट करिए।
Sir, if the husband, if the wife, yes sir.
आप फिर से रिपीट करिए और चाहे तो अपने को मॉडिफाई भी कर सकते हैं।
Yes, under section 375 of Indian Penal Code, in explanation, it is provided if the wife is not less than 18 years of age, then the sexual intercourse by the husband is not under marital rape.
कंफर्म है आप?
Yes, sir. If she is not less than 18 years of age. Before it was 15, but by the independent thought case, it was made 18.
यदि बच्ची चाइल्ड मैरिज हो गई है, उसकी एज 11 इयर्स है, उस कंडीशन में क्या होगा?
Sir,
हस्बैंड
it will be considered as rape.
और बच्ची 16 साल की है तो
So then also,
17 साल की हो तो
sir, I think yes.
और 18 साल की हो तो भी यस।
No, sir.
नो, ओके। सबसे मिनिमम पनिशमेंट आईपीसी में क्या है?
Sir, under section 510, in case of offense committed by a drunk person, then it is 24 hours punishment or 10 rupees fine.
मिनिमम पनिशमेंट मैं आपसे पूछ रहा हूं, मिनिमम पनिशमेंट कितना है? आप तो मैक्सिमम बता रही हैं।
Sir, it is minimum 24 hours or 10 rupees fine. So maximum which is provided in IPC is death punishment.
ओके, नहीं मैं 510 की बात कर रहा हूँ, 510 की।
Yes, sir, 510 provides minimum punishment.
ओके, और ठीक है, आपका एजुकेशन कहाँ से हुआ है?
Sir, I completed my LLB from Lucknow University.
यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ?
Sorry, sir.
नहीं, किस यूनिवर्सिटी से किया है?
So Lucknow University.
ओके,
So voice is not coming.
पॉपुलर बातें बताएंगे आप?
Sorry, sir, voice is
लखनऊ
not.
के बारे में 2-3 बहुत ही पॉपुलर चीजें क्या है?
लखनऊ के बारे में
आवाज सुन पा रही है मेरी क्लियर?
हाँ मैं सुन गया हूँ।
बातें
लखनऊ के बारे में 2-3 पॉपुलर
आपकी वॉइस तो आ रही है मेरे में। लखनऊ
Three. हेलो,
सुन लिया आपने?
हाँ प्रिया, उनका सवाल ये था कि लखनऊ के बारे में 3 आप यू टेल 3 इम्पोर्टेंट थिंग और 3 प्रोमिनेंट थिंग्स अबाउट लखनऊ।
Sir, Lucknow is known as the city of Nawabs, and in food, non-veg is very famous there. And if you want to go or visit some places, then I think we should go to Imambara, and we can visit Ambedkar Park, and also Aminabad is the market. I think a person must go there if he or she is going to Lucknow.
लखनऊ की हिस्टोरिकल कुछ इम्पोर्टेंस पता है आपको? ओझा जी, आप टेक ओवर करिए। तो मुझे लग रहा है इसमें कन्वर्सेशन में प्रॉब्लम है।
नहीं, आवाज, आपकी आवाज आ रही है,
मैं
आ रही, कोई बात
आ रही है।
नहीं, आ रही, आ रही।
तो इनसे वही मैं पूछ रहा हूँ कि उसका हिस्टोरिकल रिलीजियस इम्पोर्टेंस भी है।
प्रिया, लखनऊ का हिस्टोरिकल रिलीजियस इंपॉर्टेंस क्या है? Sir, Begum Hazrat Mahal was from Lucknow, and she participated in she played an active role in 1858 revolt, 1857 revolt. Sorry.
अरे लखनऊ नाम किस पे पड़ा है, ये भी बता दीजिए।
Sir, it was before known as Lakshman Nagar, and after that, later on, it was named as Lucknow.
प्रिया, क्या क्रिमिनल लॉ को रिट्रोस्पेक्टिव इफेक्ट से अप्लाई किया जा सकता है?
No, sir.
और मान लो एक्यूज के फेवर में
Yes, sir.
आपका आंसर नो है,
Yes, sir.
राइट?
Yes, sir.
अब मान लो जिस समय की अफेंस है उस समय पनिशमेंट 3 साल है और ट्रायल के समय में 2 साल हो गया, तो क्या करेगी कोर्ट? क्या करेगी? उसे मैक्सिमम यदि देना चाहती है तो 3 साल का पनिशमेंट देगी या 2 साल का?
Sir, the court will provide 2 years of punishment. The reason is under Article 20 Clause 3, under Article 20 Clause 1 of Constitution of India, which provides the provision for ex post facto law. It says that when the offense was committed, the punishment provided that time should be given. But in case later on the punishment get reduced, then for the interest of the accused, the lesser punishment should be provided.
ये आर्टिकल 20 में ये बात इनकॉर्पोरेटेड है?
No, sir, it was.
भाई दो बातें हैं, इनहैंस की बात तो है लेकिन लेस करने की बात है क्या उसमें?
Sir, sorry, sir, I'm not aware that whether it is mentioned in article or not, but I have read about this.
किसी केस में ऐसा प्रोपाउंड किया गया है?
Yes, sir, I think it was propounded in a case, but I'm unable to recall.
हेनरी कुछ करके है केस, याद आया आपको?
Sorry, sir.
नहीं है, ओके। अच्छा, ये फ्री लीगल एक्ट के बारे में तो आपने सुना होगा।
Yes, sir.
अभी कोर्ट में फ्री लीगल एक्ट किसी को कोर्ट चाहती है कि इसको मिलना चाहिए, क्या प्रोसीजर अडॉप्ट करेगी कोर्ट?
So, court will provide the person advocate if he is not capable of having is he not capable to pay the fees and
नहीं,
can.
कोर्ट तो चाहती है, मेरे क्वेश्चन में ये है कि कोर्ट तो उसको प्रोवाइड कराना चाहती है, तो क्या प्रोसीजर अडॉप्ट करेगी? कोई और दूसरी एजेंसी भी है जो लीगल एड के लिए कोर्ट में?
Legal services authorities are there, state legal service authority and district legal service authority. They also.
ओके, यानी अच्छा, लीगल सर्विसेज अथॉरिटी को इन्फॉर्म करेगी, उनके यहाँ पैनल होता है, उस पैनल में से किसी को उस एक्यूज का काउंसिल अपॉइंट किया जाएगा, ये है ना?
सर,
बताएं प्रिया। ओके, अभी है तो ऐसा ही कुछ। चलो तो ठीक है। अच्छा, आप किसी केस में क्विक जस्टिस भी प्रोपाउंड किया था कि क्विक जस्टिस भी फंडामेंटल राइट है, कुछ आपको केस पता है?
सर हुसैन आरा खातून केस।
ए, अच्छा, ये जो स्पीडी ट्रायल है और क्विक जस्टिस है, ये हर स्टेज पे मिलना चाहिए, ऐसा भी कुछ जुडिशियल वर्डिक्ट है?
Sorry, sir, I'm not aware about it.
ओके, ऐसा है वैसे। एक केस में सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने ये कहा है कि न केवल ट्रायल में, बट उसमें इन्वेस्टिगेशन में, इंक्वायरी में, हर स्टेज पे ये स्पीडी और ट्रायल क्विक जो है उसका रिस्पांस करने का राइट है। तो ठीक है, केसेस पे बहुत ध्यान नहीं है आपका, है ना?
Yes, sir, I've not gone through
एडल्ट्री,
cases.
एडल्ट्री की क्या है अभी स्टेटरी पोजीशन?
Sir, adultery is no more a punishable offense, but it is a ground for divorce.
बाय वर्च्यू ऑफ लेजिस्लेशन
No, sir,
और बाय कोर्ट, वर्च्यू ऑफ कोर्ट वर्डिक्ट?
by virtue of court verdict.
किस केस में?
Sir, I'm unable to recall.
ओके, ये राइट टू प्राइवेसी पे बहुत बड़ा एक जजमेंट आया, उस केस का
Yes, sir.
नाम आप बता सकते हैं?
It's a
किस
case put
केस
from
के नाम? तो स्वामी, इसमें कुछ आधार का भी एनालिसिस भी हुआ है?
Yes, sir. Sir, it was provided
अच्छा, आप
that
ये यस, प्रोसीड प्रोसीड।
So it was provided that as before, the Aadhaar card was made mandatory in for opening a bank account, or if there is any examination, then at the center also. So that is why in case of case Puttaswamy, it was held that the Aadhaar card is linked with many of the person's identity, so it cannot be. It is a matter of privacy, so that is why it cannot be made mandatory for all the purpose.
ओके राइट, ठीक है प्रिया, बहुत अच्छा। अब नेक्स्ट पैनलिस्ट को मैं
या
कहता हूँ, ओझा सर।
हाँ हाँ अनुज जी।
सर प्रणाम। प्रिया,
Good afternoon, sir.
गुड आफ्टरनून। कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, आईपीसी और सीआरपीसी के अलावा और कोई सब्जेक्ट जिसे आप
Sir,
रिसेंटली रिवाइज कर लिया हो?
sir, Transfer of Property Act.
एंड व्हाट इज द वैलिड कंडीशन ऑफ ट्रांसफर प्रॉपर्टी?
Sir, the transfer should be between two living persons. The property should be transferable and it should be existing property.
एंड transferors should be competent or not?
Sorry, sir?
Transferor should be competent or not?
So, yes, sir. Section 7 provides about the competency of the transferor also.
In a case of valid transfer, there is also a provision for the competency of the transferee, whether the transferee should be a competent to take the property or not.
So, yes, sir, it should be, he should be competent, but a transferee can be minor also, and he can be of unsound mind also. But a transferer, it is provided that he should be competent, and it is linked with section Indian Contract Act, Section 10.
No, my question is whether the transferee should be competent or not. Whether the incompetent transferee can take the property. If yes, who is the incompetent transferee?
So I think a transferee need not be a transferee should be competent. Of course, he should be
Is
competent.
there any exception? Or where this is mentioned in the Transfer Property Act?
Sir, under Section 13,
What says?
sir, that transfer can be made to the unborn person also.
Suppose you are a judicial magistrate and you are disposing any case relating to the property before you. You can take such property if here the any parties of the suit offer to sell for you. You can be a transferee here.
Sorry, sir, I'm unable to hear. Can you please repeat the question?
मैं ये कह रहा हूँ कि यदि किसी मामले में कोई प्रॉपर्टी डिस्प्यूटेड है और वो आप जुडिशियल मजिस्ट्रेट हैं और आपके सामने वो मामला चल रहा है और एक पार्टी उसे सेल करना चाहती है, आपको ले सकती हैं आप उसे?
No, sir. The disputed property cannot be transferred.
तो ट्रांसफरी को भी कॉम्पिटेंट होना चाहिए ना?
Yes, sir. Sorry, sir.
And what property are a transferable property?
Sir, Section 6 provides that all properties are transferable except the chance of mere extinguish and easementary right without dominant heritage cannot be transferred. Salaries of public servants cannot be transferred. Mere
What
right
is
to
apparent? Okay. What is apparent successionis?
Sir, mere presumption that in future the person will get the property or inherit the property.
Cannot be transferred.
Yes, sir.
Res naturally. Natural property can be transferred.
Sorry, sir, I'm not able.
You have mentioned already Section 13. क्या है?
Sir, it provides that transfer can be made to the unborn person also by creating a prior life interest.
Life interest. And what is the rule against perpetuity in a Transfer Property Act?
So perpetuity means transferring a property for indefinite period, and so rule against property provide that we cannot create a indefinite life interest, and the period of perpetuity can only be till the gestation period until the minor attains the majority.
Can you give me the provision relating to the Section 14? What is mentioned in the Ware Act?
So rule against perpetuity is provided in Section 14 only.
Okay. And what is the definition which is mentioned under Article 40, under Section 14 of the Transfer Property Act? What says?
So it provides that, sorry sir, I'll look into it.
Okay. What is the privity of contract?
So privity of contract provides that the contract can be enforced against the parties only.
Is there any exception in India?
Yes, sir. In case of trust, in case of acknowledgement, and in case of partition or family release settlements, the parties can be the person who has interest in the property.
Okay. What is the standard form of a contract?
Sir, in standard form of a contract, the terms are already fixed. They are not negotiable. For example, if we say the milkman who sells us milk, he has already decided at what amount he will sell us. So it is a standard form of contract.
Give me any illustration.
Sir, in case of, I think, railway ticket, if you purchase, then it is also an example of standard form of contract. It is not negotiable.
Contract of insurance is a standard form of contract or not?
Sorry, sir?
Contract of insurance is a standard form of contract or not?
Sorry, sir, I'm not aware.
Okay. किस चीज की तैयारी कर रही हैं आप? किस चीज का एग्जाम दे रही हैं? इंटरव्यू देने जा रही हैं आप?
Sir, civil judge.
सिविल जज यानी जुडिशियल सर्विसेज के लिए?
Yes, sir.
Is there any provision and this term used in your constitution where it is mentioned judicial service?
Sir, in constitution, so there is no provision.
सबऑर्डिनेट कोर्ट के बारे में कहीं प्रोविजन है आपके यहाँ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में?
Yes, sir. Article 233 provides the provision for subordinate district courts.
वहाँ पे जुडिशियल सर्विस भी मेंशन है.
Yes, sir. Sorry, sir.
सबऑर्डिनेट कोर्ट्स में जो आपका अपॉइंटमेंट होगा वो कौन करेगा?
Sir, governor will appoint on the recommendation of High Court.
High Court.
Yes, sir.
Whether the Indian Constitution is a federal or a unitary?
Sir, it is quasi-federal.
According to Casey, where? Why?
Sir, because its few provisions are unitary in nature and few are federal. That is why it is called as a quasi-federal by Casey Ware.
कोई सुप्रीम कोर्ट की लैंडमार्क केस है जिसमें ये बताया गया कि हमारा जो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन है वो फेडरल कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन है?
Sir, I think, sir, SR Bombay case, it was provided that.
Then why are you saying our constitution is a quasi-federal?
Sorry, sir.
मैंने दो फॉर्म की गवर्नमेंट पढ़ा है, पार्लियामेंट्री फॉर्म ऑफ गवर्नमेंट एंड प्रेसिडेंशियल फॉर्म ऑफ गवर्नमेंट. व्हाट इज क्वासी प्रेसिडेंशियल फॉर्म ऑफ गवर्नमेंट?
Sorry, sir, I'm not aware about it.
आपके यहाँ फेडरलिज्म है या कोऑपरेटिव फेडरलिज्म है?
Sir, I have heard about federalism, but not about. Sir, so you asked about federalism and quasi-federalism?
No. मैं कोऑपरेटिव फेडरलिज्म की बात कर रहा हूँ.
Sorry, sir, I'm not aware about it.
And what is the difference between constitution and law of constitution? आप क्या पढ़ती हैं? कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन पढ़ती हैं कि लॉ ऑफ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन पढ़ती हैं?
Sir, I study law of constitution.
Then how it is differ from the constitution?
Sorry, sir.
एक्सटॉर्शन क्या होता है?
Sir, extortion is provided under section 383 of Indian Penal Code, and it provides that when a person by with the intention of causing fear of injury induces any other person to provide the property, to transfer the property and valuable security, then it is called extortion.
What is valuable security?
So valuable security is provided under Section 30, and it provides that any document which provides that any rights, restricts any right, or transfers any right is valuable security.
Whether lease is a document or not, is a valuable security or not. Lease deed.
Yes, a lease is a document.
I'm not talking about the document. Document तो है ही. Valuable security है या नहीं?
Yes, sir.
Check is a valuable security.
I think yes, sir.
Promissory note is also valuable security.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And when the extortion becomes the robbery, convert into the robbery.
So while committing extortion, there is instant fear of death, grievous hurt, or any kind of hurt. Then it becomes robbery.
Again, repeat your answer.
Sir, while committing extortion, there is fear of any hurt, grievous hurt or death, or fear of instant hurt, grievous hurt or death, then it becomes extortion. Sorry, robbery.
There is no any provision relating to confinement.
Sorry, sir.
There is no any provision relating to confinement.
Sir, it is provided under Section 340 wrongful confinement.
Okay. पुलिस रिपोर्ट यदि सबमिट हो रही है तो मजिस्ट्रेट के पास क्या राइट्स है? Whether magistrate is bound to accept the police report?
Sir, I'll read about it.
Okay. Is there any provision relating to set off in the CRPC?
Sir, set off?
Yes.
Yes, sir. It is provided under Order 8.
I am just talking about in the CRPC.
Sir, in CRPC also there, in case of plea bargaining, it is provided that if the person has already gone through his punishment, then after that, if the sentence is reduced by plea bargaining, then that the part of sentence that he has already gone through, then it will be reduced.
आपने प्ली बार्गेनिंग और सेट ऑफ को दोनों को मिक्स कर दिया है. फिर से बताइए. Okay, leave it. And what is the difference between legal set off and equitable set off in a CPC?
Sorry, sir, I'm not aware about it.
Okay. Have you heard about the Common Law Procedure Act?
Sorry, sir.
Common Law Procedure Act. By which the writ, yes, Common Law Procedure Act, by which the writs were abolished. Procedure Act, tort में है. Common Law Procedure Act.
Sorry, sir, I have not heard about it.
Okay.
प्रिया, आप नर्वस तो नहीं हो रही हैं?
Sir, no, sir.
पानी तो नहीं पिएंगे?
Yeah, give interview with the ease. Huh? We are drilling with purpose. Give interview with ease, huh? But don't worry. Give it. Give it. There is lot panel left, huh? Okay, give it.
Okay, beta. One my last question. Priya.
Yes, sir.
मैं प्रयागराज से ट्रेन पे बैठा हूँ. मुंबई जाना है मुझे. रास्ते में मेरे सामान की चोरी हो जाती है, मुंबई पे मैं उतरता हूं तो मुझे पता चलता है। मेरा ट्रायल कहाँ कहाँ हो सकता है एक्यूज्ड का?
Sir, may I ask you where your luggage was stolen?
बेटा मुझे पता होता तो चोरी कैसे होता?
So then, from Prayagraj to Mumbai, it can be conducted at any place.
ऐसा कोई प्रोविजन है सीआरपीसी में?
Yes, sir. Section 186.
अच्छा, मुझे गोली मारी गई है जो है इलाहाबाद में, और मुझे एसजीपीजीआई लखनऊ में जो है एडमिट किया गया, और जहाँ पे डेथ होती है, कहाँ पे ट्रायल हो सकता है एक्यूज का?
Sir, at Prayagraj and Lucknow, at both places.
एट व्हाट प्रोविजन अंडर द सीआरपीसी?
I think so. 181. Section 181.
थैंक यू सर। ओके,
शौर्य, शौर्य।
जी सर, प्रणाम सर।
हाँ,
What are the three important qualities that you see are necessary for somebody to be a good judge?
Sir, I believe to be a judge, a person should have patience. He should have a decision-making quality, and also there should be integrity.
Very well. Which of these three qualities you think you as a person has the most and has the least out of these three?
Sir, I think I won't be able to categorize as most and least, but I think I have all three qualities.
All right. If somebody pleads before you, when you are a judge, somebody pleads that I am a lunatic, or somebody from that side pleads that this fellow is a lunatic and he is not competent to be a witness, suppose, or for any reason he pleads to be a lunatic or of unsound state of mind, how would you ascertain whether the claim is correct or not?
Sir, if he is capable of taking rational decision, then he is competent.
Is the judge competent to decide whether a person is lunatic or not, or does he require expert opinion?
Sir, he need an expert's opinion, right?
All right. Can there be a punishment? You must have heard about punishments of different kinds. Okay, there are fines, there are penalties, then there are imprisonments, death penalty, this and that. Can somebody punished with community service, that you have to do community service? Is it possible? Can this be awarded as a punishment in Indian law?
Yes, sir. Recently, the bill has been introduced in the parliament as Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita in place of IPC, and it provides community service in case of defamation.
Which kind of defamation? Criminal defamation or civil?
So, criminal defamation.
Obviously. And what was the punishment that this thing has replaced? Earlier, what was the punishment?
Sir, earlier the punishment was of 2 years of fine under section 500 of IPC.
All right. And what, according to the theory of criminology and punishment, under which category this punishment will fall, this community service? Is it reformative or punitive? Which kind of?
Sir, it is reformative punishment.
All right. All right. You must have heard that there is a punishment for, and it is quite often flaunted as a legal, what we call joke or something like that, that there is a crime which if you succeed in committing, then you cannot be punished. And if you fail in committing, then you can be punished. And then people give answers. And what would be your answer?
Sorry, sir, can you please repeat the question?
Yes, I will. I think I could not convey it properly. Tell me an offense which if you succeed to commit, you cannot be prosecuted or punished, but if you fail to commit, you can be.
Sorry, sir, not able to recall.
All right. This is a very commonsensical and general this thing. Give an example of how you see, if you have ever realized that our law has shown a special sensitivity towards vulnerability of women in the society. Can you name a few provisions where that is palpable? You can actually find that yes, law is sensitive to women's problems, especially. Not necessarily sections. Don't worry about that. Some provisions.
Sir, for example, in CRPC, when a police calls for investigation, and then in that case, a woman cannot be called, and women are also exempted in CPC for personal appearance, and in case of arrest also, sir, a woman cannot be arrested if there is no women police officer.
Very well, very nice, excellent answer. Is there any concession or any alteration with respect to burden of proof also in criminal prosecution somewhere? Has some concession been given in this regard?
Sorry, sir, I'm unable to recall.
That's all right. In a typical, unfortunate, but typical case of sexual molestation, who do you think bears the burden of proof? The primary burden of proof? The accused or the victim?
The accused has the burden to prove that he has not committed the offense.
That is an exception, isn't it, dear? That is an exception. Otherwise, what is the general rule? That the burden of proof is upon the person who makes the accusation. But this is an exception. Okay. So the law is alive towards the problems faced by the victim, being woman. Okay, that's another example. Okay, let's move ahead. You were talking eloquently about marital rape, and I believe, if my understanding is correct, then your answer was correct as to the age restriction of section this 375. All right, and that exception which has been carved out, that if the woman is above a particular age, then that cannot be termed as marital rape, and even if it is termed so, it is not criminalized under Indian law, isn't it? That's how it is. So I think your answer was correct. Sirs will correct me. But my question is this, that since it is not criminalized, so should we presume that there is no remedy at all available to the wife in such cases?
I think, sir, it is not considered as rape. So for rape, there is no remedy.
Have you heard about any civil remedy? Have you heard about restraint order, something like that? Can that be pressed into service to help the wife?
Sorry, sir, I'm not aware about.
Oh, no problem. Acha, this brings up an interesting, unfortunate, but a very intriguing aspect of Indian law. And I find that this is apparent and manifest and patent discrimination. For the same act, a woman of a particular age is protected by law, but a woman beyond a particular age is not protected by law. Isn't it a textbook case of violation on an infringement of Article 14 of the Constitution, the same Section 375? What is your view on this? Just because that particular woman is above a particular age and she should lose the immunity, do you think it's a violation?
Indeed, sir. I think that it is violation of right to equality.
Very well. Is it also, is this kind of marital rape also a violation of any other right? Any other fundamental right other than right to life, right to equality, anything else?
Sir, right to live with dignity, I think it violates that also.
Right to privacy as well, if you see?
Yes, sir. Indeed, sir. Right to privacy as well.
Very nice, very nice. Wonderful. Have you heard about the phrase constitutional morality?
Yes, sir.
What is it? Just tell me. I'm not a student of Constitution, so how do you explain it to a lay person?
So constitutional morality refers to um, being in ambit of the provisions which are provided in Constitution. For example, if we say talk about Article 25, then it provides that subject to health, order, and morality. So this is what we call constitutional morality.
All right. Think about it. Take 10 seconds. That is something else. I want to assist you to come out with a well thought out answer. If the Constitution has specifically mentioned public order, this and this and this and morality, then that we are talking about something else, the civil morality, isn't it? I think you would agree with me that there the Constitution is talking about the social morality or individual human morality. What is constitutional morality as a doctrine?
Sorry, sir. I think I'm not.
That's all right. You should study about it. It's very important aspect of evolution of constitutional law. All right. Do you think Indian society is still predominantly patriarchal?
Sir, it is, but I think now the condition is improving.
It is improving.
And it is getting far better.
Are women allowed to have a permanent commission and enjoy the benefits of pension and all in army?
Sir, no, sir.
You must read about it. Okay. Classically, that was not the case. But after a particular event and after a particular judgment, I believe, it must have been 10 years ago, I think. I don't remember. But this just, I'm recalling somehow that now the condition is a little different. Okay. You should read about it. Because you are a woman candidate, you should know about what is happening. Okay, tell me what can actually liberate woman. One single thing that can liberate woman, largely, of course, we are not talking in absolute terms. What, or say, let's rephrase the question and hear your views about it. What do you think is the single most important development in recent times that has filled the perceived gap between women and men? That has helped women to catch up. I should not say catch up. It is perceived that they are lagging behind. So if it is perceived, what has helped them perceptibly to show what they already had? That's how I should say it. They always had this.
Sir, I think it is the thought process of society. Women are already free and liberal, but it is the society who hold them back. So I think if the society changes their thought and they will be more liberal towards the men and women, and I think it will help women more.
That's a wonderful answer already. But what will be your views on, say, if I propose that you should give your views on technology? What do you say about technology? How it has helped?
So technology in what sense? I'm not getting it.
I'll give you an example and then you elaborate upon your views.
Yes.
You see a security guard standing with a lathi. A male security guard, height beyond 6 feet, muscular, stout, standing with a lathi. And imagine a situation that he's replaced by a lean, thin woman security guard with a lathi. Who you think has more deterrence value?
Sir, I think the male person has
Obviously. Now replace the lathi with the gun in either situation. Now who has more deterrence?
I think in this point, both are equal.
Exactly. You got my point. That's how technology fills the gap. Technology makes muscle power redundant, largely. Obviously, yes. It cannot be substituted to social change, but you understand my point. So this you should factor in. Okay. Read about it.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Where is it? Why at all? You must have heard this in good books which are written on constitution, that even though essentially our constitution is federal in character, but there is a unitary bias. You must have heard this phrase as a student of law. I'm very sure about it. I believe Acharya Durgadas Basu Sahab has used this particular phrase somewhere. It's 15 years ago when I read it. But there was a term unitary bias. There is a unitary bias. It's a federal constitution, but there is a unitary bias. If that is taken to be true, why would Indian constitution need a unitary bias? What's your view?
Sir, I believe this unitary bias is needed for the unity and integrity of India. And the provisions that are provided where center holds more power, it is only to more and more strengthen the country. For example, if we talk about emergency provision, where the center gets power to make law on state subject, then it is also where the federalism is taken back and center is at I think at better position. But it is to ensure the continuity of the society and for unity and integrity of the country.
What do you think would have propelled our ancestors, the framers of the constitution, to foresee a situation and then provide a unitary bias very wisely? What would have actually incited them?
Sir, it is called that India is a indestructible union with destructible states.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So,
That's wonderfully said.
and
But tell me, what is the historical hangover? How would they be very sure that we have to put a unitary bias? Because of the way that India has evolved from units? Does it have anything to do with experiential wisdom? क्या अनुभव ऐसे हुए होंगे उनके कि उनको लगा होगा कि नहीं, इसको बांधे रखने के लिए जरूरी है इसको? कुछ रियासतों का विलय वगैरह हुआ था?
Yes, sir. There was accession of provinces.
All right. You are smart enough to read about it. My last query is about your hobby. Which hobby do you enjoy the most?
Sir, I like cooking and teaching.
Cooking and teaching. Why do you like teaching?
Sir, I incorporated this hobby from my house itself. I am the eldest among the siblings. So I used to teach my younger brother and sister from a long time. So that is why I like teaching.
Do you think teaching as a hobby is empowering for both the parties, the teacher as well as the learner?
Sorry?
Is teaching empowering? Does it empower you as a teacher, and does it empower the learner as well? या फिर आप ये चीज तो आपके सिबलिंग से पूछनी पड़ेगी कि आपने उनकी क्या हालत की हुई है? Am I right to say that? Or you think you are a good teacher?
I think, sir, I am a good teacher.
Very well, very well. Achha, just last question. What do you think cooking has taught you that you will be able to execute as a strength, as a refinement, when you are discharging the functions of a judge?
Sir, I think it is patience. Having patience while cooking is very important. And when to keep the flame low, when to keep it at high and medium.
I'm absolutely contented with your answer. I'll hand over to the respected members of the panel. We'll get back on in the feedback session again.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, your knowledge of law is very good. I'm quite impressed with your knowledge of law. You have explained a bit about the marital rape. Factually, yes. You are quite good, and the panel was also very satisfied with the answer. What you said, a girl who is not certain age, you have said 18 years of age, if it is above that, then she cannot be guilty of the marital rape. You said this most likely. Suppose a girl is victim of this issue, And Article 375 of the Constitution has no remedy. Then what
Sorry,
remedy?
sir. Can you please continue? Suppose a girl.
Suppose a girl is victim of the marital rape, for which the IPC is not giving any relief to her. Then what remedy she has? She has to suffer for it. You got my point.
Yes.
If the general conception and general rule of law is that there need to be consented relationship. As you explained the IPC provision that a married couple cannot take as a grievance. Therefore, a girl who has the age of 18 plus cannot go into the court or the police station for marital rape. It is the position you said? Yes?
Yes, sir.
I'm just enlarging this point. What remedy a girl has? She has to suffer for it.
Sir, I think this can be a ground of divorce.
And divorce on which ground? How this ground may be taken for the divorce?
Sir, I think sexual intercourse by force can be counted as preventive also.
Constitution also has certain remedy for this.
Sir, I think it will come under Article 21, right to live with dignity,
Article 14,
right to equality, indeed, sir.
Article 15(3),
15, clause 3. Yes, sir.
why you not use this in your answer?
Sorry, sir.
It is beautiful answer. Yes or no? You have told. I have not told this. Only I have indicated you. You have told
Yes.
this. Such a beautiful. It was a full toss. You have used it. There's one provision of the IPC: the kidnapping, abduction, and slavery. There is any corresponding provision in the Constitution? Article 24, 25, 22, something like that. If I remember it.
Sir, Article 24 is
What is
right
that? What
it
is
is
that?
right against exploitation, sir. Child who is below 14 years of age, he can not be employed in hazardous employments.
Article 22 or something else?
Article 24, sir.
24 or 23?
Sir, it is
23,
24.
23, 24 both.
No,
Isn't
sir.
it?
23 provides for traffic, I think.
23 is for the provision of the human being and forced labor.
Yes, sir.
24 is provision for the children factories.
Yes, sir.
Both are not applicable. Just think about it. Think about it.
Yes.
Any other provision? Try to search in the data principles. Just think for a moment. Article 39E. You can recall it?
Yes, sir, but I'm unable to relate it, I think.
Okay, try to relate. I'm giving you time, just relate. What is the kidnapping, abduction, and slavery in the Constitution? Sorry, in the IPC. If you don't go in the detail in the IPC, if the slavery is an offense, meaning thereby IPC is prohibiting the slavery. Yes, this simple interpretation. Yes or no? You may disagree with me. I have no issue. Just try to recall it. Kidnapping, abduction, slavery, and forced labor. It is in the Constitution. Sorry, in the IPC 53, 57 to 361. It's correct. If I'm not correct, you can correct me. Okay, it's fine.
Yes.
Let's proceed further. Now you go to the article. 23, 24. Even you can use article 21 also. Yes. Now comes the Article 39E.
Sir, I'll
Not
look into
for,
it.
not force for to any person for the economic necessity. It's clear. Article 43, living wages for workers.
Yes, sir.
Now you think for a moment and give me the answer correlating IPC and the Constitution. Because you have said in the starting part of interview, IPC and Constitution both are a very your favorite subject. I have given the material of both the topic, and I understand you have got it. Now you try to correlate in the 3, 4, 5 sentences. If you want assistance, I can assist more on this. Take your time. Don't be nervous. Take your time. I want to listen it. I want to understand your analytical power. I'm also trying to make my own mind to what I wanted from you. I want to understand. I want to select you. I want your analysis power. Let me understand this. Let me help you more. Suppose IPC is failed to give certain relief, as we have seen in the case of metal rain. Then Constitution come into the picture. So one of the interpretation you may say that where any provision in IPC is not able to satisfy the requirement of the law and the society, the Constitution may come into the picture. Yes.
Yes.
And while interpreting any case or any matter, the court may go ahead combining these two provisions of IPC and Constitution to deliver the justice. Therefore, the judge has the role to have holistic view over the whole system. Does you agree with this? Tell yes or no.
Yes, sir.
Now same thing you tell me in the 2, 3 sentences. Same thing. I'm again clearing my mind. I want to see your analytical power. I want to select you. I want to see it, how you are. This is a matter coming before you as a judge. I want to see how you handle this. If you answer this question, I will select you. If you satisfy me on this point, I will select you.
Sir, I'm unable to connect these provisions.
Try to connect. It's your life and death question. If you satisfy me in this question, I will select you. If I will not select, I will not select you. You take your time. I have no issue. Now it's your decision. You want selection or don't want selection? If you not attempt this question, I will not select you. You can take the 2 minutes before answering this question. If you want to write, you can write also. Take pen and kagaj and pen. Take paper and pen. You can write it and then answer it. Okay, I'm going ahead with the interview. You must answer this question when I leave you. Fine? By the time you think. Your hobby is the teacher.
Yes, sir.
One of the panelists asked you that it is empowering you more or the student more, or it is empowering both. Give the answer.
Sir, it is empowering both of us.
How it is empowering you?
Sir, empowerment comes with knowledge and confidence. I think when I teach, I feel confident and also learn more and more with those students. And also,
Satisfaction?
sorry, sir?
Satisfaction by imparting the knowledge. Satisfaction is part of empowerment or not?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Satisfaction is also part of empowerment.
What satisfaction you derive after a class?
So I feel that I have given something to them.
So why you are confined only to your siblings? Why not for others? There are more needy people.
No, sir, I said that I incorporated this hobby when I used to teach my siblings, but from last 1 year, I'm giving tuitions also.
Can you explain something about changes in the law just right now made in the IPC, CRPC? What is the purpose behind this?
So the purpose is because the time has changed, new offenses has occurred. There is need to increase the punishment for some of the offenses, and there is need to remove some of the sections which are not in use. So
If I
for this
say
purpose,
if I say they wanted to get away of the colonial mindset of the law, it's true.
sorry, sir.
If I will say they want to get away from the colonial mindset of the IPC and CRP, it is true.
Sir, as Amit Shah ji said in Parliament, he meant that only that he want to get rid of this colonial mindset. But I think this is not only the motive behind changing it, because the
What is
definitions and
what is
punishment.
what is motive?
So definition and punishment for most of the offences is same. Only few are changed, few are added. For example, mob lynching is added. For example, uh, sexual harassment of women with a promise to get married. This is added. So these are new offenses which were occurring in society, but there was no punishment provided for them.
Are you
So I
married?
think
Are you married?
no, sir.
When you want to marry?
Sorry, sir.
When you want to marry? Have you
So
thought over it?
first,
Have you thought over it? Yes or no?
no, sir, not yet.
Okay. So you have no plan to marry in the near future.
Sir, I will get married, but till I get first, I want to be independent.
Okay. Suppose a boy is proposing you,
Yes.
want to marry with you. He's not from your caste, but you want to marry. What do you do?
So can you please repeat?
Suppose a boy is proposing you for marriage. He's not from your caste. You are coming from the conservative background, as I can see from your background. Your father is in army. You're from Allahabad, where the caste is a most important, very important, not is an important factor. What do you do? You want to? He has proposed you. You have examined him. You want to marry with him. Caste is an issue. What will you do?
Sir, the boy wants to marry me.
You also want. Boy wants to marry you. He has proposed you. You also want to marry him. Only the point of contention here is that the caste issue, for which your family may not ready. You have not yet examined.
Sir, I will
How
try to convince them.
you will decide to first. You will decide to marry with him. He has proposed you. You like him, boy. Despite there is a caste issue, you want to marry him. Next step,
Yes,
you will convince your father. Yes.
yes, sir.
Suppose he's not ready. Then
Sir, I think I'll be able to convince him.
he's not listening you. Then why taking too much time to decide this issue?
Sir, honestly, I'll go with my father's decision.
Yeah. Okay. So if you want to answer the same question which I left, it's the last question. It's a long interview as well. Probably the longest interview we have taken is yours. You want to answer that question?
Sorry, sir, I'll think about it and then I'll.
You may be rejected if you not answer it. I told you in the initial stage. You still want to take chance? You can take a chance. Other panel members may be selected, may give marks, but I will not give you marks. You will be selected. Other panel members are very satisfied with you, but I will satisfy only when you answer this question. Otherwise, I will not be satisfied. Okay, best of luck. Fine.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Yes, sure.
Sir, so let us start with the feedback, beta.
Yeah.
First of all, I would like to start from the last in sequence. If I have read you correctly, then you simply did not understand the question posed by Oja sir. That is why you were not able to answer. You did not get the question itself.
Yes.
That's what happened. Okay, that particular question in which director principles of state policy, this and that. Whenever you are confronted
Sir,
with
it was very long and I was unable
Yes.
to recollect things.
I could understand that. And the best policy is to respectfully submit it. That, sir, I'm so sorry for the inconvenience, but I have actually not understood the scope of the question. I have not understood the question properly. That's all.
Sure.
Right.
Sure. On this, let me and you discuss this issue because it's a very interesting part. Other members may have the benefit, other aspirant. There's two. One, the Shaur is suggesting that you can respectfully submit that I will not answer.
Yes.
But as a panel member is after you. If you not answer this question, I will not reject you. I think you should not submit it. What Shaur has said, I also guessed it. You are not able to comprehend the question. You can ask the question again.
Sir, that's what I am saying, sir. She should submit that she has not understood the question.
Yes.
इसमें शर्म मत कीजिए. Never ever. Especially when sir is saying that this question will decide your fate as far as he is concerned, then there is no point in being obstinate about it and being hesitant about it. You must come forward and very respectfully submit. Sir, the main issue is that I have not been able to understand the question properly, and I did not want to actually inconvenience you by asking the question again. So kindly forgive me for this.
Sure, अगर ये पूरा वीडियो फिर सुनना, क्वेश्चन में आंसर आ चुका था.
हाँ सर, I thought she was losing it again and again.
Yes. आप बहुत नर्वस हो गए थे और आपका इंटरव्यू मैंने जानबूझ हम लोगों ने लंबा किया because आप लेट आए थे. We want to test your endurance also. आपने उस क्वेश्चन को क्या सरेंडर कर दिया. If I analyze your personality by that, I will say आपके अंदर सरेंडर की टेंडेंसी है, उस पर आप ओवरकम करो. जो मैंने जो क्वेश्चन में आंसर था सब आंसर दे दिया मैंने. मैं आपसे यही चाह रहा था कि आप इसको रिलेट कर दो. दैट्स ऑल. ये मैंने बोला कि आप इसी चीज को आप 3-4 लाइन में बोल दो जो मैंने कहा है. Sure, I'm correct. You got this?
Absolutely. Thank you for asking me, sir. और बेटा आप इस बात को हमेशा ही ध्यान रखिए कि they are there as your elders, as seniors having put in 20-25 years of experience. They are very forgiving. They are very forgiving for mistakes which do not amount to blunders. For mistakes, they are very forgiving unless that.
Sure, एक बात और ऐड करूंगा कि अगर कोई आदमी ये कह रहा है I want to select you, it means he is about to select you. He want to be more sure. जिसको रिजेक्ट करना होगा वो ये सब बात नहीं करेगा. I am having the same tendency, same mindset. आपने शौर के कई सवालों में बहुत अच्छा आंसर दिए थे. आपने कई सवालों में लॉ के सवाल के आंसर ठीक थे आपके. तो मैं इसमें आ रहा था कि मैं इस लड़की को कैसे एग्जामिन करूं. Yes, sir.
So one related aspect is that there will be so many questions which you would not be able to answer at all. Be ready for it. Mentally prepare yourself. That maybe half of the questions are such that you do not know the answers of, and that is perfectly all right. I do not know what you have been told about the process of interview, but if we understand correctly, then the process is not to evaluate just your knowledge. So maybe half of the questions you are not able to answer, and there are certain so basic questions that out of nervousness you are not able to give proper response. But at least do not allow a further degradation because of that thought कि मैं इसका नहीं जवाब दे पाई, उसका नहीं जवाब दे पाई. Don't do that to yourself. What is past. Immediately erase it from your instant memory. ठीक है, उसको तुरंत ही जो है वो अपने कहते हैं ना कि क्लियर कर दीजिए उसको कैश से. तो वो नहीं होना चाहिए. That spirals and that will not allow you to move ahead. So every question is a new question, is a clean slate. You try to score there. You do not think about what was asked and why you could not answer. I will advise you, because you are very composed. Your strength is that you are extremely composed. Your demeanor, your body language, your emotions are corresponding with the gravity of the questions asked, which is a great strength. It's very hard to train somebody in this. So, by God's grace, and perhaps because you love teaching, that is why your mode of expression, communication is very good. You do not have to worry about it. You are very, जिसे कहते हैं ना, शांत है. You are pacified. You are very composed. Your sentence formation, I found okay. You take the necessary gap before you start answering. That is also very good. So nothing much to do about that aspect, but you do not just be natural. What would you do before a set of elderly people who are there to help you, to enlighten you? How would you behave before them? जैसे आप बिहेव करेंगे वैसे ही बिहेव उनके सामने करिएगा. दैट इज माय एडवाइस. ओके, बी नेचुरल एज यू आर. इट्स ऑल राइट. कुछ अपनी तरफ से पूरा कोशिश करिए. But if you could not understand a particular point, then very respectfully, sir, is it permissible for me to request you to kindly ask it again? वैसे वहां पर वो होगा ही नहीं, क्योंकि वो ऑनलाइन है नहीं, वो तो फिजिकल होगा. तो उसमें कोई भी लैग या कोई भी उसके चांसेस कम है. कहने का मतलब कंफ्यूजन के और नॉट रजिस्टरिंग द क्वेश्चन, इसके चांसेस बहुत कम होते हैं. बट इफ इट सो हैपेंस, देन वेरी रेस्पेक्टफुली एंड प्लीज अंडरस्टैंड, एंड देयर इज इंसिस्टेंस फ्रॉम द साइड ऑफ द पैनल के नहीं आंसर करो, तो अपना बेवकूफ मत कटवा लीजिएगा वहां पे कि सॉरी सर आई हैव टू रीड. नहीं, जब क्वेश्चन ही नहीं समझे तो वो बोलो ना कि सर समझ ही नहीं आया सर हमको. आई एम सो सॉरी सर, आई एम सॉरी टू कन्वीनियंस यू अगेन सर, बट आई थिंक आई मिस्ड आउट द कोर ऑफ द क्वेश्चन सर. साफ साफ जैसे कि जो है यथा स्थिति को बोल दीजिए वहां पे. दैट इज देयर. ओके, आपके जो जितने भी क्वेश्चन मैंने लिखे हैं, आई थिंक मोर और लेस मेरे तो सभी क्वेश्चंस का आपने बहुत ही अच्छे से जवाब दिया.
यस, बहुत अच्छा.
क्वेश्चंस मुझे ऐसा लगा कि अच्छे एनालिटिकल टाइप के भी थे कुछ, and that you handled very well, which I am very contented about. So these are the 4-5 things that I have told you, and I think you also need a little bit of jubilance in your demeanor. Be a little more bright. Be a little brighter about when you are answering, say about your hobbies or any personal thing or introduction or some very positive aspect of law that has come now. If there is any positive development, any positive thing that you are talking about, then do not be in the battery drain mode. Okay, you try to show that you relate with it. Okay, you live it. You don't only read the law, you live it. You understand what is going on, how women are affected, how things are affected. So that should come in the tonality, your tonality. ठीक है. और ये अच्छी बात है कि आपका ज्यादातर चीज जो है वो सही है. आई हैव नो हेजिटेशन इन कमेंटिंग that most of the things as far as presentation is concerned is absolutely fine. I will say nothing much to worry about. और ध्यान रखिएगा, किसी पैनलिस्ट को काटिएगा मत बीच में, उनकी पूरी बात हो जाने दीजिए. आप में अच्छा ही है, आप यू हैव पेशेंस. सो पेशेंस आप में, आपने जो 3 क्वालिटी बताया वो तीनों आप में वाकई है जज की. सो आई एम वेरी ग्लैड टू टेल यू दैट, एंड आई थिंक यू विल डू वेरी गुड if you just be more more truthful to yourself. What you are. Don't let nervousness change or alter your behavior there. Kyunki just forget about it. You can do nothing about your selection. You can give a good performance. That is all you can do. Focus on that only. Forget about the end result. That will be my advice. Thank you.
प्रिया, जो शौर्य के सवाल थे, 3-4 सवाल शौर्य के मैंने जानबूझ नोट किए बिकॉज आई वाज वेरी हैप्पी यू आंसर. पहला था कि क्वालिटीज ऑफ द गुड जज, पेशेंस, डिसीजन मेकिंग, इंटीग्रिटी. पेशेंस, इंटीग्रिटी बोथ यू हैव. डिसीजन मेकिंग में आई हैव सर्टेन इश्यूज बिकॉज यू आर टेकिंग अ लॉट ऑफ टाइम टू स्पीक एंड व्हेन आई फोर्स यू टेक अ डिसीजन टू आंसर, आपने लिया नहीं. आप बोला क्या है ऑल थ्री, इट्स फाइन, बट लेकिन डिसीजन मेकिंग में थोड़ा सा मुझे लगा. काउंसिल मोरालिटी का सवाल का आंसर बहुत अच्छा था आपका. indestructible union of the state is a fantastic answer. आप अपनी हॉबी कुकिंग हटा दो, सिर्फ टीचिंग लिखो. आप सिर्फ टीचिंग लिखो, डोंट गिव टू हॉबी अननेसेसरी. आपको ट्रैप हो, एक हॉबी का काम हो जाएगा. और टीचिंग की हॉबी आप तैयार हो, अच्छी हॉबी टीचिंग का आइडिया है, थोड़ा उसको और सोचो आप. दूसरा आते हैं अनुसार के क्वेश्चन पे. फेडरलिज्म, क्वासी फेडरलिज्म एंड कॉर्पोरेट फेडरलिज्म, ये तीनों का तीनों एक्सप्लेन किया है डीडी बस में. आप उसको एक बार देख लेना, छोटा सा है, वो बड़ा इशू है नहीं. आप कह रहे थे कि इसमें थोड़ा सा और फाइननेस होने की जरूरत थी. जो जायसवाल साहब का सवाल था कि जज बनने के बाद फिर अच्छा काम क्या करेंगे, इसको आप थोड़ा सोचिए,
Okay.
थोड़ा सोचिए इस पे कि तीन अच्छा काम क्या करेंगे। हम डिस्पोजल फास्ट करेंगे, एडजर्नमेंट कंट्रोल करेंगे, आप 4-5 चीज सोचिए ना। हम फेयरनेस की कोशिश करेंगे, ठीक है, सोचिए उसमें। तो जुडिशियल सिस्टम में 3 इंप्रूवमेंट क्या करेंगे, बोला आई विल थिंक ओवर इट। क्यों आप थिंक ओवर करोगे, तो आप सोच के जाओ बेटा ना, इसको आप क्यों नहीं सोचोगे। लेस एडजर्निंग बोला है, लेस पेंडिंग केसेस बोला आपने। पेंडेंसी कम करने के काम क्या करेंगे, 2-3 मामले पेंडेंसी कम करेंगे, एक आप बोले सर एडजर्नमेंट पे हम कंट्रोल करेंगे। विल ट्राई टू हैव द फास्ट एंड स्पीड, विल ट्राई टू। आप बहुत से जज करते हैं, आप ध्यान दो, कभी हाई कोर्ट की प्रोसीजर सुनो, जज आराम से एडजर्नमेंट नहीं देते हैं, दे आस्क द रीजन टू एडजर्नमेंट। अगर एडजर्नमेंट पे कंट्रोल किया जाए फेंसी गॉड में, तो जो ट्रायल का स्पीड बढ़ जाएगी, एकदम बात सही है। हालांकि दूसरा आप एक चीज को मिस कर गए कि जजेस की संख्या कम है। जुडिशल रिफॉर्म में कहा गया है जजेस की संख्या बढ़ाई जाए, ये आपने थोड़ा से नहीं किया। जो सुप्रीम कोर्ट डायरेक्शन दे कि न दे 3 इयर्स वाला पास है, वो तो आपने छोड़ दिया, वो फुल टॉस था। आर्टिकल 142 आपने यूज किया, ठीक, आपने ठीक यूज किया। सुप्रीम कोर्ट हैज एक्स्ट्रा पावर, सुप्रीम कोर्ट कैन गिव द डायरेक्शन, बेस बाहर आपने ठीक यूज किया। इसको आप देखो, जहां आपको सवाल काम मिल जाए उसको आप टाइम में, वी आर सेइंग ईच एंड एवरी इंटरव्यू, जहां आपको मिले टाइम, आप डिवोट टाइम मिस मत करो उसमें। सबमिट टाइम ठीक था आपका। हस्बैंड वाला जो था अच्छा सवाल था, आपने अच्छा आंसर किया। थोड़ा आप उसमें 458 पढ़ो, आपने ये बोला कि वो डाइवोर्स ले सकती, अच्छी बात है। अब आर्टिकल 14, 21, 15 में जब इंटरव्यू था उसी समय उसको मैंने किया रिलेट, आप उसको जरूर ऐड करो। लेकिन आपने एक मिस्टेक किया, जो आपने सवाल का
नहीं,
आंसर नहीं
रेप
किया।
रेप रेप में इनको फिर से पढ़ना पड़ेगा।
हाँ
और मैं
बताइए।
आपको एक चीज जरूर एडवाइस करूंगा कि बीइंग ए लेडी, आप जो ऑफेंसेज अगेंस्ट वीमेंस का एक चार्ट बना लीजिए या माइंड में रख लीजिए कि कितने पूरे आईपीसी में वो हैं। इसके अलावा स्पेशल एक्ट जैसे पॉक्सो वगैरह है, कम से कम उसका पूरा नाम जानिए, ठीक है।
Yes.
और रेप में भी स्थिति नहीं है, हस्बैंड रेप के लिए पनिश होता है। एक तो सबसे कम एज के 12 साल से नीचे है, तब तो कुछ करना ही नहीं है, वो तो रेप के लिए जो है कन्विक्ट हो सकता है। 15 साल से नीचे है तो उसको मिटिगेटिंग पनिशमेंट मिल सकती है। तो देख लो ना एज वाइज कैसे है, कितना क्या है। फिर इसके अलावा अभी वो चूंकि करंट इशू भी चल रहा है, तो यू मस्ट रीड। तो मेरा एक आपको एडवाइस है कि ऑफेंसेज अगेंस्ट वीमेंस का कोई सेक्शन बचे नहीं, आप देख जरूर, दिमाग में
जी।
इसको रख, ठीक है।
अभी
और
ठीक।
जो बाकी जो हाइपोथेटिकल क्वेश्चंस थे वो पूछे जा रहे हैं। आज इंटरव्यू हुआ है एक बच्चे का, हमारा स्टूडेंट था। आप इस बोर्ड में के सामने भी ओझा जी अर्पित का इंटरव्यू हुआ है, अच्छा हुआ है
अच्छा
और
अच्छा, ओके।
थैंकफुल था सबके लिए। तो उसमें क्या है कि उसका रोल नंबर जो था इंटरव्यू लिस्ट में 306 नंबर था, 306। तो पहला क्वेश्चन तो एलएलबी कब किया, एलएलएम कब किया। और उसके बाद आ गया 306 क्या है। तो उसने बताया कि आईपीसी में 306 जो है क्या है। फिर अबेटमेंट चूंकि था वो, तो अबेटमेंट से रिलेटेड चीजें पूछ लिया। फिर ये करंट में क्यों बेसिक स्ट्रक्चर इतना ज्यादा क्यों डिस्कशन का विषय बना हुआ है, उस पर आर्टिकल्स वगैरह आ रहे हैं, क्या इशू है। तो उसको कनेक्ट करके दिल्ली सर्विस जो बिल है उसको पे सवाल चला, ठीक है। लैंड लॉ में भी पूछा उन्होंने कि जब जमींदारी एबॉलिशन एक्ट बन चुका है तो क्या जरूरत है फिर ये लैंड रेवेन्यू से रिलेटेड तमाम लॉ बनाने की। तो ये जो है, ये सारी चीजें थे। आप जज बन के 3 सबसे अच्छी चीजें क्या करना चाहिए। तो कई तरीके से ये जज बनने वाला क्वेश्चन है, क्यों बनना चाहते हैं, आप में एबिलिटी क्या है, बन के क्या करेंगे, क्या फेसेज चैलेंजेस उनके सामने फेस कर रही है जुडिशरी। फिर अभी फुल टास्क वो था उसमें जुडिशियल सर्विसेज का, तो आप देखो ना भाई, सबॉर्डिनेट कोर्ट में तो डिस्ट्रिक्ट जज से नीचे के सब आ जाते हैं ना। तो बेसिकली आप कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन आईपीसी सीआरपीसी बता रही हैं, तो थिंक करो और थोड़ा बहुत फास्ट ना करिए। आप एक सबसे अच्छी बात आप मुझे लगी, चाहे सैकड़ों सारी बोल दो लेकिन आप फेस कर रही हैं बिल्कुल। पेशेंस जो आपने बताया होना चाहिए, और कंसिस्टेंसी के साथ आपके 2 घंटे होने जा रहे हैं। और आपके चेहरे में ऐसा कुछ नहीं है फ्रस्ट्रेशन जैसा। ये आपकी बहुत ही बड़ी जो है एबिलिटी है। ठीक है, नर्वस होता है, आपने एक्सेप्ट किया, लेकिन उसके बावजूद भी अब कहीं भी हम लोग को ऐसा नहीं लगा कि ये तो बोल गई। हाँ, वो जो ओझा जी ने, वो आई सिविल सर्विसेज में तो प्रेसी राइटिंग आता है, प्रेसी राइटिंग दिया रहता है सब, थोड़ा लैंग्वेज चेंज करके उसको बिल्कुल प्रिसाइज फॉर्म में दे देना होता है। इन्होंने आंसर दे दिया था उसमें, आपको पूछना चाहिए था। सौर्य सर ने सही कहा कि आपको फिर से पूछ लेना चाहिए, इतना डेयर करना पड़ेगा जब जीने और मरने की बात आए, सिलेक्ट होने ना सिलेक्ट आने, तो ये तो आप लास्ट चांस तो दीजिए। ये तो वैसे भी मुझे सिलेक्ट नहीं कर रहे हैं, तो आप पूछ लेते साहब। मैं उस समय सारी बातें नहीं आई, मैं कैसे नहीं कर पाई, एक बार कर दीजिए, मैं एफर्ट कर लेती हूँ। तो ये सही रहता है कि हाँ एफर्ट करनी है। ठीक है, बाकी अच्छा है, अभी टाइम ज्यादा नहीं है, लेकिन आपका ठीक है, नॉलेज अच्छा है, बट वीमेन से रिलेटेड में आपके नॉलेज हो, आप हर जगह देख लीजिए, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में देख लीजिए, आईपीसी में देख लीजिए, स्पेशल लॉ हो तो देख लीजिए, एटलीस्ट कम से कम इंडेक्स तो देख लीजिए, सेक्शन और उसमें प्रोविजन थोड़ा सा। ठीक है, थैंक यू ओझा जी, मैं थोड़ी इजाजत चाहता हूँ।
ओके, ठीक, ओके ओके। तो ठीक
Thank
है,
you.
ठीक प्रिया, मेरे ख्याल सब ठीक रहा। आपको भी आंसर ठीक है कि अगर अब मेरा कहते हैं मेरे पिताजी नहीं मानेंगे तो मैं नहीं शादी करूंगा, ठीक बात है। आप इसको जगह कि सर ये कल्चरल इशू है, मुझे फैमिली ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है, आप इसको भी कह सकते हो, बहुत अच्छी बात है। इसमें कोई मतलब आपका इंटरव्यू ठीक था, लेकिन थोड़ा उसको आप कंट्रोल करिएगा, नर्वस कम होइएगा, सवाल समझ में आए सवाल पूछ लीजिएगा, बाकी ईश्वर अच्छा ही करेगा। एंड आई एम विशिंग ऑल द बेस्ट फॉर यू। ओके बेटा,
Thank
चलो टेक केयर। आदिति प्लीज कम। आदिति,
प्रणाम सर।
Sir, am I audible?
या ऑन करो अपना कैमरा, ऑन करो बेटा।
Sir, it's on.
या या शौर्य,
Sir,
हाँ yes, sir.
hi Riddhi, how are you? All good?
Good evening, sir. Sir, I'm doing fine.
Very well, very well. What is the evidentiary value of FIR?
Sir, the evidentiary value of FIR is not that of a substantive nature. It is a corroborative nature, and this value of corroborative nature can be found from Section 157 of Indian Evidence Act.
All right. Have you heard about the term affidavit?
Yes, sir.
What is the meaning of this term?
Sorry, sir, I cannot.
Well, in what context? In what context have you heard about it?
Sir, affidavit in Evidence Act, affidavit is not considered as a evidence. The Evidence Act is not applicable on affidavit. I have heard that. So right now I'm able to recall this much only.
Oh, that's all right. That's all right. I'll assist you. So, affidavit is a part of oral evidence or documentary evidence?
So it's a part of documentary evidence.
Okay. If I say, have you heard about compounding of offenses? You must have
Yes.
heard. Okay.
Yes, sir.
If I make a statement or someone makes a statement like this, that compounding of offenses is a legal way of bribing the sovereign, do you agree?
Sir, as per the provisions of CRPC Section 320, it is nowhere stated that any active involvement of the state is there. Generally, compounding of offences is done in offences which are of private nature, in which the state is not directly affected. So, in those cases, generally, like marriage offences, or in those cases, compounding is done. So, stating this statement shall not be true in case of compounding of
If I change
offenses.
the statement that it is a legal way of bribing the opposite party, so it is a kind of in-court settlement with the same objective.
So primarily on legal basis, I will say that it is not what is the outside code. I cannot comment upon it.
What is the purpose of compounding? Why compounding has to be introduced rather than punishment?
The compounding of offenses is done in order to as I have said that it is done in private offenses. So if these are not grave offenses, so if the parties are ready to withdraw the charges or are ready to not allege those charges, then it will in consequence save the time of the court. And if the party do not need to get the relief on those offenses, then this provision is made then.
Very well. From your answer about saving the time of the court, I suddenly get reminded of a very important aspect. Should judges be allowed vacation? Have you heard about it? That the honorable judges, they are allowed vacation in a particular month of the year?
Yes, sir. As I know that I think the month of June, civil courts are are on the judges of the civil courts particularly are on vacations. Sir, according to me, being a judge is a very it is a very hectic work, although it is a very noble profession, but it is a hectic work because there are a plethora of cases. There are millions of cases which they are dealing on the daily basis. So if there is a set pattern of vacations that it is given that in the month of June only you can take vacations, then it is for a person to get relaxation or to refresh from the basic daily routine of the work. Vacations are in moderation should be given.
Have you ever heard about a reforms committee on criminal justice system in India? Has there been a committee of that sort?
Yes, sir. If I can recall, the Committee of Reforms by Justice Malamud and also another committee by Justice J.S. Verma has been there on criminal reforms. Are there? There are committees.
All right. Acha, you must have heard about this of late development regarding introduction of certain bills. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Certain three bills have been introduced in the
Yes, sir.
parliament. Do you remember who introduced this? Who was the minister that introduced it?
Sir, our Honorable Home Minister Amit Shah has introduced these bills.
So, is it the job of, or is it the domain of a home minister, or is it the domain of law minister to introduce the proposed law?
So, bill can be introduced by any minister, primarily as this was a concern of criminal laws. So, the matter relating to crime are generally dealt by the Home Minister, and also in the state, also the Home Ministry takes up the matter related to crimes. So that is why Honorable Minister Amit Shah has introduced these bills.
All right. You must have heard about fundamental rights and directive principles.
Yes, sir.
In the Constitution, are they complementary or contradictory? And how?
So they are complementary and they are to be seen in harmony. So primarily as fundamental rights are the rights against the state, while directive principles are duty of the state. So both have the state has to ensure that he ensures the rights of its citizen, and it is its duty that the basic goals which were incorporated in in the constitution regarding the development of our country. It is their duty that they should incorporate it in some way or the other.
Is right to privacy an explicit right under the Constitution?
Sir, after the judgment of K.S. Puttaswamy, the right to privacy has been explicitly recognized under Article 21.
All right. Tell me visualize a situation where a candidate in the PCSJ interview, suppose you go for the interview and you happen to give some false information to those authorities. Suppose this happens. Can you be prosecuted under any provision of IPC? Giving false information before a public authority. Is there a law of that sort? Something like that?
Sir, I cannot recall the exact provision, but there is provision. Also, apart from it, if I give it on documents, I will be liable for forgery also.
All right, all right. Have you heard in some or seen in some social media reels that certain judges, honorable judges of certain courts, they are passing very harsh remarks when a government servant or government officer comes to appear, and according to their opinion, if he's not well dressed or he's not conducting or she's not conducting herself, or have you seen anything of that sort?
Yes, sir.
What is your view? Should the judges be so harsh about the public servants?
Sir, in my opinion, it should not be done publicly. If there is an outrageous violation of dress code or conduct, then it is the duty of the judge to, it is a moral duty of the judge to tell the civil servant, but not in an insulting way, not according to the code of conduct, he can tell him, but not that in an insulting way.
If I remember correctly, you are from a law background family already, isn't it? You had told about your father, I believe.
Yes, sir.
What position has he served in?
Sir, he is serving as a reader in CGM Code Bareilly.
All right, all right. Has there been an experience sharing between your father and you? Some tips, some experiences, some wisdom that he has shared with you?
So regarding interview?
Absolutely. Not interview, regarding judiciary, a career in judiciary, how things operate, what to do, what not to do things.
Sir, in daily routine, means in on and off, he keeps on suggesting me how is life after judiciary, how it is a secure job, and what are the daily nuances which judges come across, or also you should read the law very carefully so that it reflects in your orders and judgments. He just recommends all these things.
Okay. My last question is, tell me one single most charming and attracting aspect of a judge's career that actually motivates you or propels you to go into this service.
So primarily, it's the job security and the reputation which comes with this job. But ultimately, it is the satisfaction which I will get after studying for 5 to 7 years of law, and then I'm able to serve the society by imparting justice in the society.
All right, all right. We'll get back during the feedback. I now pass on to the
Chitresh.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir. I am here, sir. Can you hear me?
हाँ ये स्टार्ट, हाँ सुन रहा हूँ, स्टार्ट.
So, extremely sorry. I am in a car, so there might be some disturbance. So please bear with me.
मैं अच्छी आवाज आ रही है, आवाज परफेक्ट आ रही है.
Right. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Good evening, Aditi. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
So, Aditi, what is the meaning of your name?
Sir, my meaning of my name is the goddess of mother of goddesses, mother of gods and goddesses.
Mother of gods and goddesses. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Name 3 qualities which you possess, which you feel can make you a good judge.
Sir, I feel that I'm a fast learner. I can adapt with the changing circumstances which are in this era of development are there. Secondly, sir, I work good in under pressure. Also, I believe that I keep my biases aside when I am listening to any matter, even if there's a fight between my friends, that I do not say that I'm close to you, then I will favor you, but I analyze the matter accordingly. So my analytical skills, I believe, will help me.
Okay. So, Aditi, there is a case which is kind of sub judice, which is currently being discussed in Supreme Court. As of now, it has taken a pause, but it was in news regarding legalizing same-sex marriages in India.
Yes, sir.
If I make you the judge and you have to decide that case, in which favor you will give your decision and what will be the supporting arguments, and don't come up with any biases as you proclaim. Please come up with straight facts, fact-based answer.
Sir, as constitution is the main law of our country, so giving primacy to constitutional morality, I will I will decide a mid path regarding it. For example, the Supreme Court, the Honorable Chief Justice is also recommending that that we can provide a civil union, a status of civil union to the couples who are homosexual. So I will also try to take out the middle path.
So you will not legalize the marriage?
So legalizing the marriage as of now, as per the scenario in our society, according to me, or according to even the events also, I believe our society is not ready to legalize, to accept, or even in our sir, please allow me a moment.
Sure, please. You may have a sip of water if you want.
Thank you, sir. Sir, I have seen one debate, and I really found the argument appealing to me, according to my understanding, that on the senior advocate Kapil Sibal was saying that we have to draw a line somewhere. One day, a certain community is asking to be legalize the same-sex marriage. Next, there can be people who are in prohibited degree who can seek to legalize their marriage. So there has to be a balance in the society, and in that case, I am of the view that a civil union in this case will be a better option.
Okay. You talked about prohibitive decree. What is that prohibitive decree?
So certain relationships are under Hindu Marriage Act are kept under relationship under prohibited degree. These are your offsprings, your children. You cannot marry your daughter or son. Then you cannot marry the husband. You cannot marry your nephew or niece. Then you cannot marry the wife of your brother, or you cannot marry the husband of your sister. So these are certain prohibited degrees.
Are there any exceptions to these prohibitive decrees?
Sir, if the custom allows, then the rule of prohibited degree can be overlooked, can be accepted.
What do you understand by Sapinda relationship?
The Sapinda relationship are those relationship in which the two persons who are willing to marry should not have a common ancestor from up to 3 degrees from mother's side and 5 degrees from father's side.
3 degrees or 3 generations?
3 degrees of 3 degrees of generation, sir.
Okay.
Three
Good.
generations, sorry.
Okay. So, Aditi, what do you think are the two most pressing needs of Indian judiciary in today's scenario?
So, firstly, appointment of more judges, and secondly, speedy disposal of pending cases.
How can you undertake speedy disposal of pending cases? Will it not be like not listening to a case properly?
Sorry, sir, can you please repeat the question?
Yes. You are saying speeding up the cases. I am saying, how can you decide the speeding up of cases? Like cases have to be heard properly. Isn't it akin to deciding the case without listening pros and cons properly? Or do you believe that the judges in India are too slow for today's age?
Sir, with due respect, but it has been a common practice to allow adjournments beyond the prescribed limit. So, speedy justice, according to me, is adhering to the law and allowing judgments and taking up the proper procedure within the prescribed limit.
Aditi, did you listen to yesterday's speech from Honorable Prime Minister of the nation? From
So honestly, I was not able to listen the complete speech, but in glimpses, I have listened it.
in glimpses you have listened to it. Very good. So he congratulated the Honorable Chief Justice of India on a certain point. Can you tell us what was that point?
Sir, I have read it, but I'm not able to recall it. So just allow me one or 2 seconds. Sir, if I am not wrong, it was regarding the laws related to women, which has been.
No,
Sorry, sir.
it is
Sorry, sir.
something
Sorry, sir.
related to.
Yes, sir.
It is something related to languages.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sorry, sir. I recalled it now. Sir, Honorable Prime Minister has applauded the Supreme Court for directing that the operative part of the judgment should be in mother tongue of the party. So, giving priority to the language has been applauded by the Honorable Prime Minister.
Very good. Aditi, what are the different schools of jurisprudence?
Sir, firstly, there is the analytical school or the positive school. Then there is sociological school or the functional school. Then there is historical school. Then we have realist school, and along with all these four schools, there was a contemporary school which is called as natural law school.
Okay. So, to which school do you find yourself closest to?
Sir, I believe I find myself closest. If I speak honestly, I feel closest to analytical school and realist school.
Analytical school and realistic school, both. Okay.
Realist school.
Why
Yes, sir. Sir, in India,
analytical school? Yes.
sorry, sir, your voice is breaking, sir.
But do you like an analytical school?
Sir, in analytical school, it says there is a sovereign which makes the law for his subjects, and subjects have to follow it. And when we see the definition of law, it is also that these are the rules which are made by a sovereign which are complied by the citizens for the social order. So in order to maintain a social order in a country, there has to be a rules and laws which are to be made by the legislature.
या चित्रेश चित्रेश अनु सर आपने लगा चित्रेश की
Sir, Aditi,
Yes,
have you
sir.
heard about the pure theory of law? Why it is known as a pure?
Sir, pure theory of law was given by Hans Kelsen. It was given by Hans Kelsen, and he stated that law is independent. Law is separate from any other discipline, from sociology, from science, from any other sort of discipline. Law is independent of it. The law should be
Hello?
pure.
And what concept is liar's extra version? Have you heard about the liar's extra version?
Yes, sir, this statement was given by Julius Stone.
Is there any contradiction between pure theory of law or liar's extra version, which was propounded by the Stamler?
Sorry, sir, I cannot recall it.
Okay. And there is a provision under the IPC: outrage modesty and insult the modesty.
Yes, sir.
When you read the section 354,
54.
talks about
Yes,
the
sir.
outrage
Yes.
the modesty of women,
Yes, sir.
and in any case, an insult of the modesty. What does it mean here? Outrage or insult? What is the difference between two? Which act constitute the outrage and which act constitute the insult?
So section 354 deals with outraging the modesty of the woman, which means doing any act which is so out so horrendous, or something which which outrages the modesty of the woman, or it deals with that, while insulting the modesty of the woman. If I am not wrong, it is dealt in section 509 of IPC, in which certain remarks are made in such a way that that modesty of a woman is the modesty of the woman is insulted. Basically, if a difference can be stated, then it is in outraging the modesty of the woman, it is the act or the action which has been done against the woman. And while in section 509, it is the statement or any gesture which has basically, it is a part of criminal intimidation. So
Just let me know. Just let me know whether the gesture is an act or not.
so it is an act, means I meant to say a physical act. For example, if a person is in outraging the modesty of a woman, if a person is touching a woman inappropriately, then it can be said to be governed under section 154. But sorry, 354. But under section 509, certain remarks, certain subtle remarks,
Okay.
not subtle remarks, but such remarks which can
What is actus
insult the
reus?
modesty. So actus reus is the physical element or the physical act which is the main constituent of an offense.
And can you define this in a single line?
So actus reus is the culpable act which is done by the accused.
And this phraseology is made up by the two words, actus and reus. What is the meaning of the reus?
So reus means the culpable or the guilty actor. Reus means, sorry sir, I cannot recall it.
Okay. There is a two terms or phraseologies usually used: integrity of judiciary and independence of judiciary. Both are same things or are different?
Sir, it is, sir, integrity and independence of judiciary are not exactly the different things, but they are, if seen in synergy, they will ultimately lead to a better functioning of a judiciary. So in independence of judiciary, it requires that other organs, the executive or the legislature, should not make any provision which ultimately hampers the powers of judiciary. While integrity of judiciary, as per my understanding, means the personal, the conduct of the judiciary, which has to be seen.
You belongs from the Banaras Hindu University?
Yes, sir.
Okay, the Banaras Hindu University is declared by the central government as a national important institute. Under what provision of the constitution?
Sir, I'm not able to recall the exact entry, but it is given under list one of the schedule 7. I'm not able to recall the exact entry under which
Yes.
this power is given.
Tell me, have you heard about the pari delicto in a contract?
Sorry, sir, I'm not able to recall it.
Samdos ka siddhant, that both parties are equally wrong.
No. Okay, sir.
Have you heard this?
Yes, sir.
And what is the exception of this?
Sorry, sir, I'm not able to recall it.
Okay. there is a concept in a tort ubi jus sivi remedium, where there is a right, there is a remedy.
Yes, sir.
Is there any provision relating to the Constitution of India like this? Any provision where this concept is prevailed?
So under Article 32 and 226, the constitutional remedy are given. So if we have a right, fundamental rights and constitutional right, then we can get them enforced under Article 32 and
नमस्ते
226.
Very good.
ठीक चल रहा है
Very good. And what is your area of interest? Which law do you want to?
So I'm comfortable, although in most of the legal subjects, but family law primarily interests me a lot.
Okay, family law in Hindu or Muslim?
So I'm okay with both.
Okay. Just tell me what is the conditions of valid adoption?
So for a valid adoption, 4 conditions are to be fulfilled under Section 6. Firstly, the party adopting must have right and capacity to adopt. The party giving in adoption must have capacity to give in adoption. And the person who is being adopted must be capable of being adopted. And lastly are the other conditions which are to be complied, which are given under Section 11.
Another essential condition?
So these are some conditions like if a party is adopting a person of to be a difference of 21 years, then a person who is already adopted cannot be adopted. Then these are some of the conditions which are given under Section 11.
Okay. In a case of Hindu law, husband can take the maintenance from the wife or not?
So under Hindu law, husband can take maintenance from the wife if he is unable to maintain, and during their marriage, it was the wife who was like running the home. So if his standard of living is changing after divorce, then husband can seek maintenance from wife, and he is unable to maintain himself.
Okay. What is the rateable deduction in a Muslim law? In a case of bill, rateable deduction.
So rateable deduction is that when the under will, only 1/3 of the property can be bequeathed. So if the bequeathed part exceeds the 1/3, then the parts of the persons who have been bequeathed the property are reduced ratably. So yes, it is ratable distribution.
Okay, very good. My one last question. What is relation back concept in adoption?
The relation back concept is a doctrine which states that when a woman who is a widow or his husband has died adopts a son, then that adoption will date back from the day of the death of the husband, as if he was alive on that day of adoption. So all the rights of the child will be seen from that day.
This doctrine is still prevail in our law?
Sir, in case of widow, it is prevalent, but under Section 12 of Hindu Succession Act, this doctrine is abolished. It is said that all the rights and liabilities of a person who is adopted will be severed from the date of the adoption. And all the rights and liabilities he will inherit from his adopted parents will be seen from the date of the adoption.
Okay, one more question. Doctrine of Cyprus in a waqf can be imposed or can be applicable?
The doctrine of Cyprus means as nearly as possible. So if the motive of the waqf is is if it is sufficiently applying to the three aspects, which are religious functions, charitable functions, or pious functions, then it can be, it is applicable in
Very good.
doctrine of pious.
Very good. Thank you, sir.
Hi Aditi, how are you, beta?
Sir, I am doing fine.
You are from Bareilly.
Yes, sir.
Have you studied in Bareilly for some years?
Sir, I have done my intermediate till 12th class. I have studied here only.
Okay. एक बड़ा अच्छा गाना है फिल्म का बरेली को लेके. डू यू रिमेम्बर?
Yes, sir.
क्या गाना है फिल्म में? What song?
सर, झुमका गिरा रे बरेली के बाजार में.
What does it mean? किस फिल्म का है, याद है?
Yes, sir. It is from film Mera Saya, and if I'm not wrong, actor Shri Sunil Dutt, and I think Miss
Sadhana.
Sadhana was there in that film.
Yes, yes, yes. Any other reason why Bareilly is very famous?
Sir, Bareilly is also called Bans Bareilly because of its bamboo products market. It is also called Bas Bareilly, although it is a wrong conception that it is called Bas Bareilly because of its bamboo products. If you allow, may I tell the historical
Yes, go ahead.
evolution of the name?
Go ahead.
Sir, so in 1537, a Rajput by the name of Jagat Singh has two sons, Bansal Dev and Barel Dev. So from these two names of his son, he named this place as Bans Bareilly. Now it is known as Bareilly. So
Your father is the reader in CJM code. What is this? What is a reader? What is this?
Sir, reader is the person who looks into the daily routine, like what files are to be presented. He writes down all the statements given by the witnesses. So the basic before starting a code, whatever has to be done or whatever scheduling is to be done is done by the reader.
Right now, what are you doing?
Sir, presently I am pursuing PhD from BHU.
From where you did your LLM?
Sir, I did my LLM from BHU.
What is subject of PhD? On which topic you are doing?
Sir, as I have enrolled recently only, so I and my supervisor are still deliberating over the subject. But what I have suggested him, I wanted to work on abortion laws. So
which law? Abortion laws.
Abortion laws, sir.
What is your specialization in the LLM?
Sir, I had two specializations: family law and criminal law.
Family law, business law,
and criminal law, sir. Criminal law.
Okay. Why you have chosen this?
Sir, family law from my LLB interests me a lot. If I say it honestly, terms in Urdu regarding Muslim law fascinates me a lot. I like to listen them. It really appealed to my ear. So that it is one of the slight reason which
you like Urdu language.
Sir, I will not say I like it appeals to my ears. It pleases to my ears.
Can you speak something in Urdu?
Sir, if I can say two lines from a song.
Yeah. चलेगा.
ऐ मेरे प्यारे वतन, ऐ मेरे बिछड़े चमन, तुझ पे दिल कुर्बान. Sir, all these words like watan, kurban, chaman are all the terms which are from Urdu language.
What's your hobby?
Sir, I like listening music.
You have written one more hobby, swimming also written?
Yes, sir, swimming. But I am not able to continue it on a regular basis. I have done it and... Sorry, sir?
Why you are not able to continue it?
Sir, during my LLB, my college was in the exterior, so there was no facility for continuing this
Which
hobby of
style?
mine.
Which style of swimming you like more?
Sir, 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 sorry, sir, I cannot recall the exact name of that stroke, but I like backstroke also, sir. Backstroke swimming, I like.
Music. Which type of music you prefer?
So there is no specific genre that I prefer, but according to my mood, if I'm happy, I play uh, sort of a peppy music, or
You play.
sometimes I like.
What you play? What you play?
No, means I choose that sort of. I do not play any instrument, sir, but songs, basically
Which
songs.
which song? Any song?
Sir, the song which I like most, sir, I like the song from the old times. That is, एक प्यार का नगमा है, एक मौजों की रवानी है, जिंदगी और कुछ नहीं, तेरी मेरी कहानी है.
Recently, there is a lot of debate on the basic structure of the constitution. What is debated?
Sir, if I'm not wrong, the recent bill regarding LG and uh, Delhi government, so it was like that federalism is a basic structure. So this bill will violate it. That is why the basic structure was in.
If this bill if this bill violates the basic structure, it can be declared null and void. I'm asking something else. A debate is being started. The basic structure of constitution theory, which has been propounded in the Keshwan Bharti case, is not a good law. This is my question.
Sorry,
Do you
sir,
know
I
who
cannot.
has started this debate? FCGI, Mr. Gogoi has started this debate in the parliament. He has said this in the parliament. The lot legal experts are writing on this. Why he is saying that the basic structure is not a good law?
Sir, my apologies, but I haven't followed this debate. I will do it.
Do you know what is basic structure? Do you know what is basic structure?
The basic structures are the basic ideals which are given in Keshwananda Bharti, which are important, which are to be preserved and cannot be amended by any constitutional
Can you
amendment.
say in the one line what is the basic structure?
The basic structures are the basic principles which are to be adhered in order to give strength to our constitution.
What are those basic structures?
Sir, there are certain basic structures. For example, independence of judiciary, federalism, fair election, then the secularism, socialism, and
Recently, there is amendment in the IPC and CRPC. What is this?
Sir, with due respect, the amendment has not been there, only the bills have been passed. So these bills have been passed in order to set aside the colonial colonial view with which these laws were enacted initially.
How you can say that only a few definition and few clauses has been changed? Whole IPC is almost same. How you can say that the colonial viewpoint has been changed or mindset has been changed? If you see the whole IPC, CRPC, the perspective of change in the very fractional changes. How by a fractional changes you can say we are get over by the from the colonial mindset? Can you say this?
So this was one of the certain motives behind bringing these three new bills. But for example, the IPC was 167 years old law. So with that, from that time till today, we have evolved a lot. There have been different problems in our society which had to be addressed. New crimes have been there due to technology and all. So all these aspects have been brought and put into these bills. So this was
can you give
also
me any topic on which I may ask the question? Your choice. Even you can frame a question, I will reframe it to ask you. You can give the topic, you can give the question, you can give anything you can give me. I want to ask as per your choice.
Sir, topic of marital rape.
Okay. Tell me, what is this?
Sir, Matthew Hale was the person who gave this doctrine, who brought this concept that once a woman is married, she becomes the property of a woman, of his husband, and property of his husband. So this concept, this exception in section 375 was incorporated because of those suggestions, those doctrines which was like that if a woman is married, she is the property of her husband, and now the person has all the rights, and she cannot deny from fulfilling her marital obligations which she has towards his husband. But over the period of time, this was the concept in the British era. But if we see that now this doctrine, which was incorporated in IPC, has now been abolished in England also. So now there is a need. There is a need to look into this in this issue. Also, we have to this issue is a very delicate issue, as we have to balance two sides. Firstly, the dignity of a woman, the consent or the autonomy of the woman, also, but we cannot overlook the marital institution, because there are in our society we can see that the institution of marriage is also degrading. So in order to save the institution of marriage also, these points were incorporated. So in the recent case law of Writ Foundation versus Union of India, uh, Justice Shakdar was of the view that criminalization of marital rape should be there, but on contrary, Justice Hari Shankar was of the view that this issue cannot be made criminalized because this issue involves other aspect also, which is marital institution. Saving of marital institution is also there. So there are problems like, because husband and wife have had sexual intercourses earlier also, but the concept of consent is a very important issue in this aspect. So there can be times which in which there can be, so the issue of evidence taking was also a very important issue in this. So there is a need to make a certain law on this, but keeping all the aspects together, there is a need to make a law on criminalization of marital rape.
IPC is not working against the institution of the marriage by saying that if you have above the certain age and husband is doing the intercourse without the consent of the wife, is it not against the institution of the marriage? Marriage can survive by this process of the law, by this piece of the law. It should not be changed.
Sir, marital cohabitation and marital obligations are important, definitely important aspect of a marriage, but the consent or the will of the woman should also be considered, definitely, because it is ultimately her body, her autonomy to to involve into a sexual intercourse with with her husband. So primacy should be given to the according to me, primacy should be given to the consent of the woman. It is no doubt the obligation, but there are circumstances when woman does not give consent. Then in those cases, the consent of the woman should be given. And yes, sir.
If when you were selected as a PCS as a judge, to whom you will give this information first? Suppose the result has been out, you came to you have been selected. To whom you share this information first?
So I will share it with my father and mother.
First father or first mother?
The father.
Why?
So he has been, although my mother has been very supportive, but it was his inspiration, sorry, sir. It was his encouragement which has, sorry, sir. It was his inspiration and encouragement which has made me reach here.
You become emotional by saying this? Can judge be an emotional person?
No, sir. I have to control over on this drawback of mine.
It is being said that while delivering a justice, a judge should not be emotional.
Sorry, sir. Sorry, sir.
You are sweating a lot. Why? You are nervous? Or there is no AC? There is no AC in the room.
Yes, sir. There is no AC, and I was not having any top to match the study for now.
You have done very well. I'm quite happy with it. Shaul?
Sir, I have one or two questions to ask, sir.
Yes. Come.
Thank you, sir. So, Aditi, one question which...
Sir, first may I just...
Do it.
Yes. Please.
Yes, sir. Sorry, sir.
Yeah, no issues, Aditi. Comfortable now?
Yes, sir.
You said that you don't get swayed by any biases and you are very prudent when it comes to this. You mentioned this as one of the quality.
So this is not a bias, it's just what to say, it's a weak point,
It's an emotional bias.
Maybe.
Okay. So Aditi, we were there that you were talking about analytical school of jurisprudence, that you like it. Why do you like the analytical school of jurisprudence?
Sir, because when we first studied the definition of law, I studied that law are the rules made by sovereign for the citizens of for his subjects, so that the social order is maintained in the society. So if there has to be a law made, and the sovereign in our country, as we know, is the parliament, which is also constituted after the votes of the citizen. But parliament makes the law after keeping.
Are you sure parliament is the sovereign? Are you sure parliament is the sovereign in India?
Sir, the people of our country are sovereign in India, but ultimately their wills are represented by the parliament. So in that manner, citizens keeping in mind the needs of the society or the country.
Okay. Very good. Since you believe in the sanctity of parliament as the lawmaking body of this country, what's your take on this increasing activism of judiciary, which has now become a kind of overreach where they are interfering in each and every legislative and executive sphere?
sir, as I have mentioned that I find myself in close to both analytical and realist school. So I have explained why I like analytical school, but realism also plays an important role, because when judges see there is certain inconsistency or arbitrariness in the society, in the law, which is not ultimately serving the society or damage or hampering the rights of the citizen, then then judges do their duty of uh, giving certain guidelines, or for the interest of the justice. Judges do that.
Do you really believe that judges do all their overreaching and activism in the interest of society?
The judicial activism is done for the interest of the society, but of power, judicial overreach should not be there. There should be a there should be a restraint on it. Excess of anything is bad, so judicial overreach should not be there.
Okay. You talked about consent while talking about the issue of marital rape.
Yes, sir.
Suppose a wife gives consent to to her husband for entering in a sexual intercourse, and
Yes.
then after 3 days she files a case against the husband that there was no consent and this person raped me. How can the person prove himself innocent?
So that is what why the Delhi High Court had a divided opinion on this issue, because the aspect of consent is very is not because, as I have stated, that already they have had prior sexual intercourses, so it cannot be it is very difficult to prove how there was a consent or there was no consent. So this issue has to be seen. So it is a difficult point where the consent, how to prove consent is there.
So why? So how can you legalize? Then how can you make marital rape a crime? Isn't the basic ground of law is that doesn't matter if 100 of the guilty people go scot free, one innocent person should not be punished? Isn't this the basis of law?
So this is one of the principles of law, but because of limited cases of abuse of the law, we cannot deny the real victims of the marital rape, just because they are married and they cannot file the case of rape. The act of rape, which is a non-consensual intercourse with the woman, shall not be this remedy should not be made available to a married woman, is injustice to a married woman.
हेलो
हेलो
या आवाज आ रही है आपकी? या
सर, आवाज आ रही है?
आ रही आ रही।
हाँ, बस सर यही था बस सर। थैंक यू वेरी मच। आई विल कंक्लूड विद दिस।
या यू कैन गिव योर फीडबैक।
सर मैं एक बार डिस्कनेक्ट करके कनेक्ट करता हूँ। मेरा थोड़ा सर कनेक्शन में इशू है, तब तक आप लोग फीडबैक दीजिए, मैं कनेक्ट करता हूँ।
ओके, सॉरी
Sir, okay. Aditi, first of all, the most important points. Most important points are areas where I have strong objections, and you must consider dropping them. You must consider dropping that particular phrase, if I am not wrong, if I am not wrong, if I am not wrong. Rephrase it. If I can recall correctly, That is a better way to say, as far as I can recall, sir. If I'm not wrong, and this is the second most dangerous thing. The most dangerous thing is that usage of that phrase, if I speak honestly, as if for the rest of the times you are not speaking honestly. These things are not very well appreciated. Okay, they become a matter of habit sometimes, and they become a matter of common conversation. But in interview, these phrases should be avoided. Okay, don't use that. If you are at every point, with every breath, you are supposed to speak honestly. So that's how it is. 2, 3. There have been a point where Sir Ojha sir, respected Ojha sir, asked you about the new changes coming up in the law, and then you said, sir, with due respect, it has yet not been amended, but it is in the process of being brought as a law. That is what you said. Okay, there's no need to say with due respect. Why am I saying that? There can be two possibilities. Either the panelist who has asked this question wanted to trap you, to see your level of agility and to see the presence of mind, as they call it. That one possibility. Second, the usage of the word was undeliberately so. Okay, the words chosen by the panelist was undeliberate completely. I think in either of the situations, you should never use the term with due respect, sir. Yeah, I mean, there is no necessity for you to correct him. What is the necessity? That you tell that you know the real thing. You don't tell him that जो पूछ रहे हो वो सही नहीं है. इसको actually ऐसे पूछा जाना चाहिए. No. All that you have to do in either situation, what is healthier for you is that you simply, tangentially, you let the panelists know that you know the correct position of law. You just remove this with due respect thing. बाकी सब वही बोलो. Whatever you have said, sir, if I understand correctly, the law is in the process of amendment as we speak. ऐसा करके बोल दो. तुम्हें बता दिया तुमने कि मुझे मालूम है कि किस स्टेज पे है. You told your position. There is no need to say with due respect. Okay, sir. 99.9% of the times when with due respect is used, it is to disrespect only. So don't use it. Okay, sir. And in any case, when you come up with the right answer, you are not offending anybody. So there is no necessity of that shield of with due respect. Okay, what is correct is correct. As simple as that. There's no need for a preemptive protection. That's one. Another point, when you say I am comfortable in both, I am comfortable in all areas. I am comfortable here. Better you prefix it with I think I am comfortable in all aspects, sir. However, I believe I will be more comfortable in family law. That is a better way to put it across. Okay, these are 3 points. Fourth, there are situations when you do not realize better when to stop. 3 or 4 times I found that you kept on. For example, when Ojha sir asked you, okay, tell me, what is this? Marital rape. Sir said, what is this? Tell me. Then I think it was an answer which was disproportionate to the question asked. Marital rape is this. Okay, as simple as that. You put a full stop there. 2 lines, 3 lines at most. That's all. फलाने ने कहा था, लेकिन फिर ऐसा हो गया, फिर ऐसा हो गया. These should be the complementary questions from that side. So do not kill your opportunity to increase the number of questions. Do not enhance the content or body of the answer beyond a point. You just keep your mind awake and alive to the situation, whether you have adequately answered the question or not. The moment you think I have adequately answered, you stop there. Okay, marital rape is a phrase that is used when the husband and wife use a phrase used in the sense when husband forces himself upon his wife without her consent. In that context, marital rape is used, and currently it is being debated because it has yet to be criminalized. It is yet to be criminalized in Indian law. Full-edged. 2 से 3 लाइन बोलने का जरूरत ही नहीं है. ठीक है? Then let them ask. कि कहाँ से आया concept, Indian society में कैसे relevant है. Then you are free to proceed. That is 4th or 5th point. ठीक है? If you ask me, I mean, despite occasions, several opportunities where I saw that you are not able to frame the sentence properly, But believe me, as an over, since again and again, I found you stuttering somewhere you just got stuck, occluded somewhere in your speech. Sometimes you had to rephrase the opening sentence, and then things happened like that. But believe me, despite all that, it never left any negative impression on me, at least. Nothing negative about it. Okay, so do not worry much about that. When you replay this, do not worry much, or don't feel ashamed of the fact that you could not just fluently speak or put across your point. That's all right. I would not say that there is anything that requires to be done in this area. So that's one aspect. Okay, ठीक है. There were many situations. We also face the same situations that there are when what happens that this thing is very brilliant. Nah, the speed of this thing and this thing has to be in sync. But sometimes it doesn't happen, and that is absolutely all right, so long as you keep yourself short and succinct, and you have sufficiently answered the question. I think this problem will resolve itself on its own. When you practice this thing, that I'll not speak more than what is required, then this thing will somehow help you. That's my intuition, that it will help you. Overall, I will say the knowledge part, the understanding of law part, that is good for a candidate in this interview. I will not say that there is anything seriously wrong with your level of study. I found it very good. I'll say you are adequately meeting and addressing the questions of the panel. So on that aspect also, I do not advise much of a homework. You keep yourself calm. Try to phrase the sentence first and then start speaking. You must phrase the first sentence of answer first and then start your answer. So long as you are not able to do that, seek a moment. That's perfectly fine. But do not rush into it. I saw, and it is natural, that questions whose answers you were comfortable, you immediately rushed to answer. And there was a remarkable and palpable gap when you were attempting the answers which you were not comfortable in. So that gap should not be remarkable. Let a little bit of gap be uniform across the questions, whether you are comfortable or not, so that you leave an impression that you are a person who likes to think and then speak. That will be very, very helpful. Okay, then on one point, it is a thought process point. Before I come to that, second last point is this. If you say that if I am not wrong or something like that, yes, sir, and I'm not sure. If you ever happen to say this in front of the panel, sir, I am not sure, then never guess. All right? Never attempt a guess. Okay. If there is a question where your first voice, the first voice that comes is that, sir, I am not sure. If that is the case, then you never guess it again. Okay? Unless you are asked to do so. If the panel says, nahi, koi baat nahi, guess kariye, then it is fine. If you are not asked to guess, you stop there. Sir, I'm sorry, sir, but I'm not able to answer this. I cannot recall it. That's it. Don't guess it. कि ऐसा भी सर आई एम नॉट श्योर, लेकिन ऐसा लगता है कि इफ आई एम नॉट रॉन्ग, किसमें बोला था तुमने? शायद चित्रेश भाई के क्वेश्चन के आंसर में तुम जब उन्होंने बोला था कि उनकी तारीफ प्राइम मिनिस्टर साहब ने क्यों की,
हाँ सर, बिल्कुल बिल्कुल, मैं भी उसी पे आ रहा था सर, एकदम सही पकड़े.
So I would like you to avoid this situation. If you are not sure, you are not sure. As simple as that. You leave it. Okay. And last point from my side is, there was an apparent contradiction, and maybe it is a contradiction because of my nascent knowledge. I mean, I'm not a student of law. Chitresh bhai and sirs will correct me. I think when you argued so strongly about not legalizing the same-sex marriage in Indian society's context, in the vis-a-vis the fabric that the Indian society holds so dear to it, that somehow goes against your first answer, that you find yourself very close to the positive school of law. Are you getting my drift? What I'm trying to say, what I'm trying to imply? Am I right that when you defend that not legalizing is okay? Okay? Decriminalizing has already happened, but not legalizing. Now, there are arguments for legalizing it also. If you hold any argument against legalization, what are you professing? If I am right, if I have understood correctly, I am a general knowledge student, but if I have understood correctly, you are actually professing natural law. Aren't you? think about it, and I'm opening myself to correction. Chitresh bhai will correct me if I did not get it correctly. There's nothing wrong in having those two opinions, nothing wrong, but you should be aware of it when you are talking about it, giving your arguments. Then you should be aware that somebody should not catch you on the wrong foot. Okay, so Chitresh bhai, I'll request him to enlighten us on this. That will be all from my side.
That yes, Chitresh.
Sir.
Yeah.
एकदम सर आप एक जगह स्कूल में थी, दूसरी जगह पे आप नेचुरल स्कूल में चले।
सर आपकी वॉइस
अदिति आप सुन सकते,
आवाज नहीं आ रही चतुर
आप
साहब।
सुन सकते हैं सर, आप
सुन सकते हो ना?
भैया आवाज
हाँ हाँ, बस सर, बस एक bear with me for 15 seconds. I have reached home. Just 15 seconds.
ओके क्षितिज साहब पहुंचो तब तक मेरे को
बस पहुंच गया सर, पहुंच गया, मैं आ गया। आई थिंक यू कैन हियर मी नाउ।
यस सर।
तो बस अदिति यही है मुद्दे की बात कि देखो शौर्य सर ने बहुत अच्छे से सब कुछ समझा दिया है। मेरे पास ज्यादा कुछ बचा नहीं है। एक तो वो वाला पॉइंट था जिसमें आपने गैस नहीं करना चाहिए था, आप गैस करके फंस गए। अगर आप खुद से नहीं गैस करते, बोलते मुझे ध्यान नहीं आ रहा है सर, तो शायद नहीं बोल देता आपको कि गैस कर लो, लेकिन आपने बोला कि हाँ सर, और उसके बाद आप विमेन वाले पे चले गए, तो वो अवॉइड करना चाहिए था। दूसरा, नेचुरल स्कूल वाला जो ये आया है, ये सर ने बिल्कुल अच्छे से बता दिया है कि एक तरफ तो आप पूरी तरह से बात कर रही हैं कि हमारी सोसाइटी के लिए ऐसा है, सोसाइटी रेडी नहीं है और अभी तो हमें उसे सिविल यूनियन की तरह देखना चाहिए। ये सब आप सेम स्टैंड ले सकती हैं, लेकिन आप आर्ग्यूमेंट सोसाइटी वाला ना देके ये कह सकती हैं कि सर बहुत सारे लॉज हमको चेंज करने पड़ेंगे, अडॉप्शन के लॉज चेंज करने पड़ेंगे, डाइवोर्स के लॉज चेंज करने पड़ेंगे। आपको इनफैक्ट टू सेम सेक्स पीपल गेट मैरिड एंड टुमारो वन पर्सन सेज दैट माय पार्टनर रेप्ड मी, हाउ विल द लॉ डील विथ इट? क्योंकि आप तो, एक औरत तो आदमी का रेप कर नहीं सकती है इंडियन जस्टिस सिस्टम में, और वो आदमी क्लेम करेगा कि नहीं नहीं इसमें तो फीमेल मैं हूं रिलेशनशिप में, और दूसरा कहेगा नहीं फीमेल मैं हूं। हाउ विल यू प्रूव इट नाउ? तो आप बोल सकती हैं कि ये बहुत सारे लीगल कॉम्प्लिकेशंस लेके आता है, इसलिए हमको इसको अवॉइड करना चाहिए फॉर द टाइम बीइंग, रादर देन टेकिंग अ सोसाइटी वाला पर्सपेक्टिव। तो आपका आंसर भी बच जाएगा। योर आंसर वॉज वेरी गुड, लेकिन आपका आंसर कंट्राडिक्ट हो गया। और देखिए मैं आपको एक चीज बता देता हूं, आप लोग कितना भी, मतलब आई हैव,
आवाज चली गई चित्रेश। Aditi, first I will compliment you and
right manner that I am free from all the biases.
सॉरी सर, आपकी आवाज कट गई थी।
आवाज कट गई थी आपकी चित्रेश, फिर
आवाज
से बोलो।
कट गई थी, ठीक है मैं फिर से बोलता हूँ।
हाँ,
मैं फिर से बोलता हूँ। मैं ये बोल रहा हूँ कि इन लास्ट 5 to 6 years of my interview experience, I have not met a single girl who has not had a pro-female or a feminist bias. I don't have any problem with it. But when you claim at the very outset, at the very beginning of the interview, that you are free from all biases, then you have set the bar really high for yourself. Better don't claim this as a quality.
ओके सर।
ओके, क्योंकि वो मैरिटल रेप वाले केस में वो निकल के आ गया आपका बायस, वो कहीं ना कहीं निकल के आ जाएगा। प्रॉब्लम ये है, वो बायस अंदर में है। हम सबके अंदर कोई ना कोई बायस होता है, होना गलत नहीं है, बट जब आप क्लेम करते हो ढोल बजा के कि मेरे अंदर बायस नहीं है और वो निकल के आ जाता है, देन इट रिफ्लेक्ट्स पुअरली ऑन। वो भी निकल के आ गया, आप इमोशनल हो गए, वो सारी चीजें हैं। चलो इमोशनल एक पार्ट है, लेकिन ये वाला बायस आपको अवॉइड करना चाहिए। मैरिटल रेप पे मैं अभी भी, मतलब आई एम नॉट सोल्ड ऑन योर आंसर, बट जस्ट फॉर द सेक ऑफ आर्ग्यूइंग आई डिडंट वांट टू प्रेस द पॉइंट। कोई मतलब नहीं है, आप उस पर कुछ अच्छा आंसर बता सकती हो। शौर्य सर ने आपको बहुत अच्छा आंसर बताया है कि देखो कभी कभी टफ सिचुएशन से ना एस्केप आउट भी करना जरूरी होता है। आप, जरूरी नहीं है कि सामने से सांड आ रहा है तो मैं इसके सींग पकड़ करके ही इसे एक साइड हटाऊंगा और फिर जाऊंगा। आप अपनी गली बदल लो, चुपचाप साइड से निकल जाओ। बाकी लॉ की आपकी नॉलेज बहुत अच्छी है। एक जगह पे अनुज सर का प्रश्न था अडॉप्शन से रिलेटेड, तो आपने सीधे बोलना शुरू किया कि सर एज पर द सेक्शन 6 फलाना फलाना फलाना। सेक्शन 6 ऑफ हिंदू अडॉप्शन एंड मैरिज एक्ट, नाम तो लिया ही नहीं कौन से एक्ट का सेक्शन 6। हमें भी तो पढ़ना पड़ेगा, ठीक है। यू गो बैक, यू सी द रिकॉर्डिंग, यू विल फाइंड इट।
यस सर।
हाँ, तो वो सब चीजें हैं। और लिसनिंग म्यूजिक कुछ नहीं होता है, देर इज नो सच थिंग एज लिसनिंग म्यूजिक, लिसनिंग टू म्यूजिक।
ओके सर।
डोंट फॉरगेट द प्रिपोजिशंस। बाकी आप अभी तक जितने भी कैंडिडेट्स का हमने इंटरव्यू लिया है, मैं ये बोलूंगा कि लॉ के नजरिए से आपकी तैयारी यू आर इन द टॉप 5%। बहुत अच्छी आपकी तैयारी है, आपकी लीगल नॉलेज अच्छी है, यू हैव अ साउंड डेप्थ, you have a good working knowledge also, probably because of family background also. You are very realistic in your approach, and you have a very innocent kind of personality. So I think you will do very, very well. This will work in your favor. You stay like this. Don't try to be smart. Stay innocent. It will be always beneficial.
Okay sir.
Okay, Aditi. All the very best. All the very
Thank you, sir.
best.
First,
Sir, just two things from my side, sir, because sir, that will be all from my side. Chitresh bhai just reminded me of the point which I had missed initially.
Absolutely.
Number one, I am dead against this emotional thing. Okay, when it comes to interview, I'm so sorry to say that it was not possible for you to actively control it. I very well understand it, but absolute disaster this is. Okay, I treat it as a disaster. But if it happens, and if you are confronted, and this will be very unfortunate if it happens there, if at all you happen to have that moment, and if you are confronted with it कि ये क्या है, तो आप कैसे ये जज लोग इमोशनल होता है क्या, सर ने पूछा भी था कि ऐसे जज लोग इमोशनल होता है, वो तब तुम बहुत रेस्पेक्टफुली बोलो, अपने आप को कंट्रोल करने के बाद बोल देना कि सर जो है आई एम एक्सट्रीमली सॉरी फॉर द सिचुएशन, बट सर I believe I also will be able to develop qualities to not influence this part of my personality, my functioning. That kind of thing has to come up in a very cold manner then thereafter, so that you show your recovery also. Don't linger on to this. Okay, number one. Number two, number one लेकिन ये नहीं है जो मैंने अभी एडवाइस दी. Number one ये है कि it cannot happen. You cannot allow it to happen. It's very strictly. Number two, जब भी whenever you fall into a question or a situation, this is coming from Chitresh bhai's advice कि wriggle out करना कैसे आना चाहिए, how to wriggle out. See, you as a student of law, as a very primary level student of law and society and constitution, you may not be very thorough about the deep rooted questions which face humanity, which have always faced humanity. Okay, so there is no necessity for you to try to justify or satisfy the demand of that particular question to the last mile. That's not possible. You say a couple of lines and then you very respectfully admit and acknowledge that, sir, I believe that I need much more maturity and depth of understanding to sufficiently answer this question. जब या जैसे सोसाइटी, इंडियन सोसाइटी में सेम सेक्स मैरिज का एक्सेप्टेंस, दो चार लाइन बोलो, उसके बाद सन्नाटे में हाथ जोड़ लो. ये जो बिगर पिक्चर वाले क्वेश्चंस हैं, which are haunting every enlightened mind in the Indian society, you are not supposed to be an authority on that, isn't it? So as a student, as a scholar of law, as a sincere person, you admit the insufficiency of your understanding, and the possibility of further improvement, the possibility of further aggregation of knowledge and understanding and experiential wisdom. That will perhaps be a better impression than trying to factually answer something. These are the 2 points.
Okay.
Thank you. First, I will compliment you and Priya both for handling the question of the metal road. The interviewer were the male, quite more than age you all have, or maybe like the double of your age, but both you girls have handled brilliantly. And I will say it shows a professionalism on your part. And when I started asking those questions, I have given mark to both of you, and Priya both, that you are very professional in approach. No doubt about it.
Thank you, sir.
Why you want to become a judge? What is motivating you? Your answer is perfectly as per reality, and I think Shaur was quite satisfied when I saw his face when he was taking your answer. One of the things I have very disappointed with your hobby. Your hobby is swimming and you are not recall which style I'm swimming. It's better don't write the hobby. Unnecessary, don't give a chance because time is short. If you're not given a hobby yet, don't give swimming and music hobby because both are is not your hobby is on date. You have not prepared it. Basic structure, if you're not knowing, I think it's crime. I'm just let me criticize a bit. Just take the critical aspect, then I will say the positive aspect also. Basic structure of not knowing it's a crime. I'm again saying again and again. You see, today our Arpit interview has been happened, and the interview has gone the line which on which we have said the current affairs legal part to part of the interview same person. And after the speech of the CGI in the parliament that the basic structure not a good law, it is a lot debated. You must prepare it.
Sure.
When I ask you to give me one topic which I want to ask, you said about marital rape. As soon as I said, you speak, you start doing on. Be precise. I lost interest at that point of time without taking a long. No one is interested there to have a long interview. Suppose 7, 8 boys and girls are there to be interviewed. Interview panel also want to take a quick decision. I keep telling we purposely take around 90 minutes of interview for your endurance and give good questions to you. But in interview mode, you go only for 30, 40 minutes, not more than that. Some girls and boys go for only 20 minutes. Sure, it's already said about the emotional part. It need not be there. I have asked at the last of the interview, probably your a good deed of interview may be spoiled there. You listen this conversation and mock again. You have certain number of you avoid it. One of the reason not having the control over the communication, this coming or not having the answer, anything may be there, but you have to control this and
Okay, sir.
If I'm not wrong, don't use this. So I already told you, you may use the alternate phrase, but better not to use it. Because if you are confused, if I am not wrong, it shows the lack of confidence. When the person is going to analyze your personality, one psychologist will be certainly there. He will try to extract your personality only by your conversation. He has no concern with the right or wrong answer. One psychologist is not knowing the law. There is nothing knowing, but he analyzes how you speaking, how you expressing. You try to take care of it. कंपाउंडिंग एंड पनिशमेंट आंसर में भी ठीक था और बेहतर हो सकता था. Jurisprudence that to different schools लगातार पूछा जा रहा है and I presume it is a very important part and the interviewer should know it. So the person who's giving interview must know it. I must say my girls are better than the boys. I must say. I'm having the feeling when the result will come out, my girls will have the more percentage selection than the boys. I presume all of 20 you will be selected. If anybody will miss, that will boy, not the girl. It's also a women's empowerment. Most of the girls are very good. And it is showing the concept that बोलते हैं बेटी बेटे से अच्छा होती है. ओल्ड कॉन्सेप्ट है ना कि बेटा बेटी पैदा लोग दुखी होते थे, यार बेटी पैदा हो गई, धीरे से बोलते बेटी पैदा हो गई. You girls are changing the concept. I'm lucky we have got we are lucky we've got a girls like you to mentor, and it's long way to life. It's just started our relationship. We have long relationship with you, and you all will be the more proud to us. I think you are a good candidate. All girls candidates should send their pictures to me in the dress which they are going to wear. I will send some of the lady officers, senior lady officers, Swati, Archana, Iti, who has done a lot of research in the how you dress. I will send to them and give their opinion. Priyadarshini has just sent to me. Yeah, it's fine. I got it. Because Priya is not using the dress today. So many girls have not used it. You will send it, then we will also see and advise to it. If any question you have, you may ask it.
Sir, I have understood what you all have told me. I will
और कुछ है?
incorporate it.
और कुछ और है?
एक सलाह जरूर है मेरी बेटा.
हाँ बोलो.
Somehow मैं थोड़ा सा इस चीज से even though you are just a student right now and as a candidate I do not expect very I mean, the pinnacle of maturity, but don't use the term job security for a service like this. That's my advice to everyone actually. Job security मत बोलना बेटा, कुछ और बोल दो, challenges बोल दो, anything that you what I asked you, what is the most charming thing about this service to you? So don't say
सॉरी अच्छा
trivializes
सवाल है,
it.
हम लोग सॉरी अच्छा सवाल हम लोग डिबेट कर देते हैं, सबको फायदा होगा।
Sir,
देखो क्या है, सर्विस की रेपुटेशन है, सर्विस सेटिस्फेक्शन देती है, सर्विस सीखने की अपॉर्चुनिटी देती है, मेंटली आप अलर्ट रहते हो, आप जस्टिस देते हो सोसाइटी को, आप सोशल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी को अपने साथ रखते हो। अगर आप इसके इर्द गिर्द आंसर लेके जाओ, इस पे क्या खराब तो आप चलिए खड़ा हो, जॉब सिक्योरिटी, ठीक है, ओके। आप इन चार चीजों के बीच लेके जाओ ना, आप रेपुटेशन है। देखिए हमेशा आंसर रियलिस्टिक होने, आंसर इज ऑलवेज रियलिस्टिक। Idealistic answer is not appreciated in the interview. Or most of you are coming from a middle class or lower middle class. You are needed a space in the society, place in the society. You want to mark your name there. Not only you, your parents are interested to have mark in society via your only. Therefore, the reputation is there. There is a opportunities are there. In the age in which you all are there, there is sense of idealism in yourself. You want to do something in life. After 10 years, you may not want to, but today you want to do it. Therefore, idealism is there. तो आप कुछ समाज में करना चाहते हो, कुछ चैलेंजिंग, जज का काम बड़ा चैलेंजिंग जॉब है। यू हैव टू टेक डिसीजन एवरी डे। आपकी जो आत्मा है ना, आपकी कॉन्शियस है, एवरी डे जो चैलेंज होती है, एवरी डे सवाल खड़ा होता है। आप शाम को लौटोगे ना, आपको सोचो मैंने आज क्या किया, न्याय तो अन्याय तो नहीं हो गया, न्याय तो नहीं हो गया। तो आप इन सब चीजों के इर्द लेके आओ ना आप। ये आंसर आप अच्छा कर रहे हैं, इसका आंसर तैयार, एक ही आंसर आया बता रहा हूँ। आप रेपुटेशन की बात करो, सोसाइटी में अच्छी रेपुटेशन है, इज्जत है, काम का सेटिस्फेक्शन मिलता है, चैलेंजेस रोज मिलते हैं, हमको नए नए तरह की चीजें मिलती हैं, हम रिसर्च करो। ये क्या है, ये टीचर की जॉब है। आप देखेंगे बहुत लोग पढ़ाते भी हैं, आप जगह जगह बोलने जाओगे, जजेस आर बीइंग इनवाइटेड टू एड्रेस। आप लोगों के कॉलेज में आए होंगे, आपने देखा होगा। आप रोज रिसर्च करते हो। रिसर्च होता क्या है, सारे कि आप रोज शाम को पूरे हिंदुस्तान के सैकड़ों हजारों जजमेंट हो जाते हैं, आपको पढ़ना होता है। इट्स रिसर्च ओरिएंटेड, इट अलर्ट्स योर माइंड, यू लर्न मोर थिंग्स। इसमें आप जाओ बेटा। सर और कुछ ऐड करना है इसमें?
Sir, yes, sir. It is not only about the moral facets of your answer. There is nothing moral about it. You will be incorrect if you say job security. Do you think that the job of a judge is more secure than the job of a government teacher? No, that is not something that distinguishes it. So you have to mention the distinguishing element of that service, isn't it? Job security तो government job में है ही, जो भी government job होगी उसमें job security तो so called more or less same है, on the same footing है. So that's not the distinguish. So I want you not to be incorrect also. Not only it is not very decorative, it is incorrect also. So ultimately there are only two things: what I can give to the service, what the service can give it to me. That's how give to me. These are the two parts of the equation. So what you do very smartly, first you open up your statement, open your answer as to what you can contribute, and then in the last, as a matter of tail, you also mention this realist element that then it's a very respectable job, and in the society it's a very reputable and respectable assignment, sir, and it keeps me intellectually engaged, academically alive, academically persevering right till the last day. It gives career progression, this and that. तो अब जो हमको जो एक्सपेक्टेशन है वो सबसे बाद में कर दो। हम अब अल्टीमेटली बताएं तुम्हें हम ये क्यों कर रहे हैं। हम लोग ऑफिसर्स हैं या फिर कहीं ना कहीं टीचर्स हैं, ऑफिसर्स हैं, कहीं ना कहीं वी आर अर्निंग अवर लाइवलीहुड। देन व्हाई आर वी डूइंग दिस पर्टिकुलर एक्सरसाइज ऑफ पीसीएस मॉक? फॉर मनी? ना ना। फॉर एनीथिंग? फॉर फेम? नो, एब्सोल्युटली नॉट। उससे तो बहुत पहले भगवान ने मुक्ति दे दी थी। तो देन फॉर व्हाट? फॉर द अपॉर्चुनिटी टू मेक दिस लाइफ मीनिंगफुल। That's all. Ultimately यही होता है आंसर सही मायने में। The opportunity to make a difference, to make this life meaningful. लेकिन अब ठीक है, आइडियलिस्ट लैंग्वेज से बचना है, बट अल्टीमेटली गाइडिंग प्रिंसिपल यही होना चाहिए। वरना फिर ठीक है, बहुत सारे लोग सिलेक्ट होते हैं और बहुत सारे लोग सर्विस करते हैं, रिटायर होते हैं। दे डोंट मेक अ डिफरेंस, दे ओनली मेक लाइवलीहुड। ओके,
मैं आपके राय और दूंगा। आप सब लोग जो यहाँ पे 20 लोग मेरे पास आए हो, आप सब लोग वही काम करो जो हम लोगों ने किया। आप अपनी आगे वाली जनरेशंस की मदद करो, डोंट बी सेल्फिश। Most of the civil servants, most of the high profile officers are only involved their own life. We are 4-5 hours every day spending with you, and on the same time we try to study for you. आप लॉ के एक्सपर्ट हो, हम लॉ के एक्सपर्ट नहीं है, ये हम लॉ को पढ़ते हैं रोज आपके लिए, रोज निकालते हैं नई नई चीजें, कैसे सवाल पूछे, कैसे आपको हम ऐसा कुछ करें आप चैलेंज हो। वी वांटेड टू मेक दिस इंटरव्यू चैलेंजिंग वन। आप देखो कोई भी सवाल आसान नहीं होता है, हर सवाल के पीछे कोई भी विचारधारा होती है। आप ये यकीन मानो, पीसीएस जो इंटरव्यू लेने दो, अर्पित से आप पूछ लो, वही होगा जिस तरह हम लोग डिस्कशन किया। आप देखना सबका इंटरव्यू इसी तरह जाएगा। आप जो हम लोगों के 20-25 मॉक हम लोग करेंगे, आप लोगों के 25 मॉक आप सुनना, यू फाइंड एवरीवन समथिंग यू गेट फ्रॉम इंटरव्यू एंड लॉट कॉन्फिडेंस यू आर गेटिंग। आप लोग जब सिलेक्ट हो जाओ, आप लोग ये काम करना, समाज को देखिए, समाज को कुछ देने का जो जज्बा है होना ही चाहिए। शौर के बच्चे छोटे हैं, मानो मेरे बच्चे बड़े, शौर के बच्चे छोटे हैं, अपने बच्चों का टाइम निकाल के आपको दे रहा हो। आप चित्रेश देखिए, चित्रेश कार में था, स्वाति ने आज पूरी कोशिश की ज्वाइन करने की, उस मीटिंग चल रही थी। ओम प्रकाश जायसवाल मेरठ में है, वहां वो संघर्ष कर रहे थे। आर नॉट ट्राइंग टू हेल्प यू, एंड वी डू नॉट नो हु आर यू। मैंने कभी जानने की कोशिश भी नहीं की, तो पता भी नहीं आप कहाँ से हो, कैसे हो, कुछ कोशिश नहीं किया। आपका एक पेज का बायोडाटा इसलिए देते हैं ताकि हमको आपको समझने में आवश्यकता हो। आप सिलेक्ट भी जाओ, वो क्या मिलना है हमें, सोशल मीडिया पे लिख देंगे कितने बच्चे हम लोग को आए सिलेक्ट, उससे क्या होता है, कुछ नहीं होता है, कुछ फायदा थोड़ी होगा हमें। हम लोग लिखते भी क्योंकि सोशल मीडिया पे इसलिए लिखते हैं कि ज्यादा से ज्यादा लोगों को इसके बारे में पता चले। आप लोगों ने कहीं और भी मॉक किया होगा, यू कैन सी द डिफरेंस, द वे वी आर हैंडलिंग एंड द वे अदर्स आर हैंडलिंग। आपने देखा होगा मॉक हैंडलिंग आपने अब दिया ही होगा। तो बेटा आप सिलेक्ट हो गए, आप सब बहुत अच्छे हो। मैं हमेशा बोलता हूँ मेरी लड़कियां बहुत अच्छी हैं, लड़के भी अच्छे हैं, लेकिन आई हैव सीन दिस आईएएस एग्जाम आल्सो। हम लोग जब आईएएस करते हैं, हमको लड़कियां अच्छी नहीं मिलती हैं, मैंने वो लड़के खराब मिलते हैं, लेकिन जो लड़कियों के बारे में विचारधारा समाज की है वो इंप्रूव कर रही है। आप लोग सिंसियर लोगों में हो, तो आप लोग 20 लोग हो, 20 लोग सिलेक्ट हो, अपनी ये खोज है। किसी को कोई दिक्कत हो जरूर कंसल्ट करना, मैं फिर राय दूंगा। अपने एड्रेस को आप लोग हमको पोस्ट करना, हम भी अपनी राय लेंगे, फिर जो हमारे यहाँ गर्ल्स ऑफिसर की राय लेंगे तो आपको देंगे, ताकि कोई मिस्टेक ना हो जाए। बाकी सब अच्छा ही है, कोई सवाल चाहिए तो बेटा इट्स फाइन।
जो अभी डिस्कशन हुआ उसके क्लाउड में कहीं छिप ना जाए, so that when you walk away, you don't walk away with the wrong impression. Beta, you have done exceedingly well. It is my duty to tell you also, as an impartial examiner, you have done very well. But these improvements that we are suggesting, they are to further fine tune you. You have already done very well as suggested by other esteemed members.
भाई मान लो आप 60% नंबर पा रहे हो, तो 65% पाने में क्या खराबी है, 70 पाने में क्या खराबी है? अपने को पता नहीं ना कि मेरे जाके कहाँ रुकेगी, अपने को पता नहीं है, तो हम लोग इतनी कोशिश क्यों करते हैं कि जो आपका पोटेंशियल है वो और इम्प्रूव करे ना। अगर आप 50% पा रहे हो, 60 पा जाओ, 65 पा जाओ, 70 पा जाओ, 70, कोई लिमिट की इंप्रूवमेंट क्या तक बड़ी नहीं है। जो परफेक्शन है, यूपी कोई परफेक्ट होता नहीं है, हमको भी सब कुछ नहीं आता, हम तो सीखने की कोशिश करते हैं ना। तो जो शौर्य सर कह रहे हैं ठीक कह रहे हैं कि आप सबने अच्छा किया है। अब मेरे ख्याल से 4-5 लोगों का इंटरव्यू रह गया, बाकी सब काम हो गया है। और सब लोग जो मॉक दो, आप मॉक चैट पे पूरा लिख दो, अपना इंटरव्यू लिख दो। हम लोग आईएएस एग्जाम में कराते, मैंने कभी लिखा है, किसी लड़के ने 2017 में शुरू किया था, 10,000 से ज्यादा ओरिजिनल इंटरव्यू वहां पे है। ये पूरे हिंदुस्तान के लड़कों की मदद करते हैं, लड़के लड़कियों की। आप पीसीएस में इस तरह की प्रक्रिया नहीं हुई है, तो आप लोग फ्लैग होल्डर बनो, उसके टॉर्च आप लोग लिखना शुरू करो। तो जिसका भी इंटरव्यू हो जाए, अपना इंटरव्यू ईमानदारी से आंसर की कोई जरूरत नहीं है, ओनली राइट क्वेश्चन। तो आप मान लो 10 क्वेश्चन आप लोग लिख देना, ये सब के लिए एक मैसेज है। थैंक यू, टेक्स यार, ओके बाय
सर
या चित्रेश,
दो शब्द बस मैं सर इसमें जोड़ना चाहूंगा। जो शौर्य सर ने और आपने आंसर तो पूरा अच्छे से बता ही दिया यहाँ पे अदिति को। जैसे सर ने बहुत अच्छा बताया कि जॉब सिक्योरिटी आप मत बोलो, आप उसको, अगर आपके दिमाग में वो चीज ही आ रही है तो आप बोल दो स्टेबिलिटी। आप फेम मत बोलो, आपके दिमाग में अगर वही चीज आ रही है कि फेम मिलेगा, शोहरत मिलेगी, आप बोल दो सोशल रिकॉग्निशन।
ओके सर।
बस। तो कई बार क्या होता है कि आप बोल वही चीज रहे होते हो, लेकिन आप इस तरह से बोल देते हो कि अगला आदमी उसको ऐसे नहीं लेता है कि ज्यादा हवा में है, हवाबाजी कर रहा है। वो वाली फील नहीं आनी चाहिए, बाकी सब ठीक है।
ओके।
All the very best. All the very
Thank you,
best.
sir. Thank
थैंक
you.
यू बेटा, बाय।
All the best. You'll do well.
ठीक सर, प्रणाम।